We are here with world-renowned famous artist, Sam Kissajukian.
Buongiorno.
So, guys might have heard Sam earlier, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years. How long was the last pod you were on?
Telling monkey
18 months, yeah.
monkey stories.
Monkey attack, just attacks from all walks of animals.
Yeah.
Very
Very good episode.
excellent episode.
We went deep.
Real deep.
Deep into mental health.
Yeah.
Deep into spirituality and all those sorts of topics.
All those yucky things that make me think about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Really,
really
this is going to
good.
be really helpful for anyone struggling.
It's not.
Specifically with bipolar.
Yeah, don't go on medication.
Yeah.
Just listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Specifically with bipolar and manic.
Manic episodes.
Episodes.
It's fucking interesting and helpful at the same time, but also it was a fun, nice.
If you want to believe in yourself.
a nice open conversation.
Also, we went to the races.
Yeah, Saturday, Lucky Duck Racing, shout out. They've given us 5% of the horse.
Yeah.
And we went to Owners Day. Mm-hmm. The horse raced Monday. She came fourth.
Yeah,
in
I
the
watched
trials.
the race. Yeah, it's
so-
got potential.
Yeah. But yeah, it was sick. Shep was there. Scotty Cummings, Tim Gossage. And I had an oyster for fucking the first time. Mate, have you ever understood oysters?
Have I ever understood oysters?
The whole concept of eating oysters is beyond me.
I don't understand people's love for them.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like who they are as
as
mollusks.
Where's their other half?
Yeah.
But
But fucking anything that you're like, oh, no, it's good. You just need to put Tabasco sauce on. Or, no, it's good. You just need it with bacon. Then obviously it's not good, cunt. Because you need it with other shit. So it tasted like the sea did a fucking big load in my mouth.
I was actually, to be full disclosure, a little uncertain about this whole like horse thing, but having
gonna be
gone
so
there,
fun.
it was fucking fun.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was sort of feeling we had to leave a little early because I had stuff on. But next time we have a like summer, or into spring, fuck, it should be good. Have a few
Boys
frothies.
big into racing now.
Well,
no,
no,
no.
I didn't care about.
It's more about the day, like
Yeah.
free piss, free food.
We were watching our races on the TV, and they were happening fucking right behind us
yeah.
live.
That's how you know you made it.
It's just a good vibe. Like everyone.
It was
in
good
there
fun,
was-
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
Yeah,
really fun.
so you can get involved. Just DM us, and
Yeah.
we'll sort you out.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, but
So nice.
But
very good episode. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So let's get hard.
Yeah, I think that's
Or
everything.
Was that a mistake? I did it by purpose. Let's get hard.
Let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host.
Daniel Jelby.
And Cameron Brand.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Speaking of traumatized stuff, I hate those little videos. Do you remember Faces of Death back in the day? No.
Oh, is that just people dying?
Yeah, it's all fucked up shit. Like,
Oh,
all
yeah.
gruesome.
Well, I mean,
Someone sent me it today, one of my mates. He sent me like a video of two guys fighting. And the other guy, like young dudes over in Sydney.
Yeah.
Guy has got a knife. He stabs a cunt in the neck. And
Yeah.
he dies.
What?
Okay. Your friend sent that to you?
Yeah, I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me
Yeah.
how this finishes?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see that.
You didn't think you saw
I thought it was just a fight video.
with the guy with the knife.
Well, they're fighting. So some Maori guys and some Lebanese dudes.
I avoid that sort of stuff.
If I didn't know it looked like a fight, I don't mind watching knockout videos. But then, like, I hear the guy with the film. He's like, "Oh, he's got a knife," and then the big Maori dude tries to be like hell staunch and goes up to him with his hands down, and the other guy just slashes his neck, and then blood comes out, and then he's holding his neck, and then he just falls over.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, man!"
Well, you're passing it on. Like, you're telling me.
Yeah, I was about to
now.
say thanks.
You're
bro.
making me picture that in my head.
It's
You're like, oh,
different.
there's blood.
Yeah.
There's...
But it's different seeing it.
No.
Like-
Now I'm used. It's
actually
worse.
worse.
I
You
mean,
reckon?
Because I'm thinking of the even worse. Like, you know what I mean? It was probably better than I imagine.
Yeah,
you don't know what happens up here.
It was super clean.
It was clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Imagination.
So if you're going to send that to someone, just go, "Hey, man, just so you know, this guy dies at the end. It's not just a fight video." I
And
just
they
got it
say
like
that. Watch till the end. That's what
yeah,
they say.
But this wasn't.
Watch till the end.
It wasn't an Instagram reel. It was just a private. He just sent it to me out of context,
Yeah.
like completely out of context. We're talking about Bali and shit, and I woke up and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" Click it, And yeah, it was
It's like a very hacky joke. Like, and then he got stabbed.
Yeah.
You know, like, be original.
Yeah.
I always feel
It made
better.
me feel sick.
Well, I always feel better when you're watching like a car accident and the caption underneath says always like, can't believe they survived. And then I'm like, okay, this is like,
Yeah, or you get trolled and it's just...
and he's like, oh no.
Yeah.
You're like, at which point is it inappropriate to come? Like before the airbags go off, afterwards, what are we doing?
Oh, fuck,
yeah.
man.
Oh, well, we're here today with former comedian.
Former comedian. I didn't know you quit.
Yeah, I quit.
Yeah.
Just so I can come back. I love a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. What was the go with that? I didn't even know.
Well, I just heard you getting real funny, so I thought like there's not enough room for all of us.
It's too many straight white males coming up.
Yeah. I thought I'd give it a break, give everyone else a shot for a bit.
Yeah.
No, I just called it quits because I thought, no, I just got a bit old and sick of COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like committed. Like I got to just do one thing, and then COVID's like stopping. You know, if you like break up with someone and get back together, you're just like, I can't do that. I'm just like, you got to stick
Done.
it out, you know?
Yeah, okay.
And COVID just kept making me break up with stand up, and then I didn't like that it wasn't up to me, so I was like, no, I quit.
Take control.
Yeah, it happened with lockdown as well. They put me in lockdown. They're like, oh, you can come back out. I was like, no, I decide when I come out of lockdown when I'm very mentally ill.
I'm going to do another month.
Oh, so you just did what I did, you know?
What?
Quit comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I did it for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quit before you start. That's
Quit
the
before
way.
I started.
I
yeah.
quit having sex, man.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Incel.
Because you're a celibate.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the joke that you've made a lot? You do? You go to weddings and you go, don't fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's more just like can't pull.
Oh, the celebrant is celibate. The celibate.
Yeah. I think we've got some good pre-roll intro, just us having banter. We can use that and chuck it on Patreon if
Perfect.
as a little bonus snippet.
Yeah.
While you were getting ready.
Yeah, well, I was pooing Delby.
Oh, sweet. Well,
I had a coffee just before we got here.
Nice.
Mate, that you did. That's good. You did a hard yarn.
Yeah, so big week as well before we get into things. And we were talking last night. How's Elon? Is he a fucking genius? Now, I know, sorry.
Jamal thinks he's the most evil thing.
He thinks he's the Antichrist, but he's a fucking genius.
Have you heard about
see
the
what
Elon?
Wait. Your take is that Elon Musk is smart. That's how we're opening the podcast. The richest man in the world that owns like 7 tech companies.
Okay, let me
On
explain.
Twitter is a genius.
So, have you seen
He's
what
a
happened?
genius. Let me just say, Elon Musk is a genius.
Yeah, he was a species. Now he's the genus.
He's a genius.
Have you seen? So, did you see what happened recently? Obviously, he's pulled out of buying
Heard.
Twitter.
Oh, he did pull out of Amber Heard before Johnny.
So he's pulled out of buying Twitter because he requested that they would give some certain information before the final purchase, and he wanted to make sure the value of the company was worth it. And the point was he was asking for the amount of bots that were on Twitter. He figured what they were suggesting were the amount was wrong. So he asked for them, they declined to give it. So he's like, well, that's a pretty big red flag that there's a lot of people with fake accounts, which then inflates the value of the company. But not only that all the people who advertise on there, it's suggested that it's up to about 50% of people on Twitter are bots. So advertisers, all these sorts of people are going to be like
fabbits.
Yeah, so then obviously the value of the company is not going to be worth. They said they're not going to show up, but now they have to sue him for pulling out of buying, and in that they're going to have to give the number of bots to prove the case.
Yeah.
In which case he's going to get the information and then go, see, you were fucking...
Unless they just they fully just fake it now and they cut all their bots.
Get rid of it all.
Yeah.
In any case, he's going to get that information. It's going to devalue the company, and then he'll probably just swoop in and buy it at pennies on the dollar anyway. So he's going to get the same company he wanted for like
Way
half
cheaper.
the price.
You think it'd be like for him to discriminate against bots? Like you'd think, out of all people,
The bot.
they got feelings too.
Yeah.
Like let him have an account.
He wants to release all of his fellow people.
Oh, but
I
his
reckon
fellow bots.
he should buy it, scrap all the people, ban everyone, and just have it as just like this bot meme platform.
Mark Zuckerberg's dream.
Just Republican bots.
Oh, he's it's pretty strange though, I guess. But it's like watching a fucking 5D chess game versus checkers.
Yeah.
He's just so far ahead of them
Yeah.
that he's forcing their hand to do whatever. It's like, I don't think he
Some
wants
say he's a genius.
I don't think he wants them. I think he's just trying to fuck with them.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, fuck Twitter, man. Even after all the employees come out and like, actually, that's probably Jamal. They were coming out like going, I can't believe this man is fucking.
He makes us work hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's making us like not filter people like and fucking allow proper free speech. What a piece of shit.
I used to have an opinion on these matters, but then.
But now you're an artist.
Well, yes. What I want to know is, how does he feel?
How's he going as a person?
How's he going as a person? He's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know?
He's sleeping in his office.
But I also feel like it's like, well, you just not. That's a rich person problem. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if he's a genius, like where are we? We're in Osborne Park. You know, there's a blanket. You know, we couldn't connect to Google Chrome. Like, and we're like, so what about Elon Musk? It's like, let's be honest. What are we doing with our lives? Like, that's really what I want to talk about. What we should.
Yeah.
So then
Let's
I
focus
used
on
to back in
ourselves.
the day really worry about what's happening up above. You know, like is Joe Rogan, is he going to cancel? But now it's like I worry about myself because I can't even get that shit together. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's a step at a time. You just like look up and then you just don't have to worry about yourself.
Yeah. What was the shift? What's COVID the shift?
Yeah. Mental illness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So what?
I think it's probably a really good point, though. That's where a lot of people should be.
I
Focus on
think so many
themselves.
people are getting mentally ill now. I reckon it's gonna happen.
Because of COVID?
People are gonna get fun.
Because you're for the listeners, you were in Sydney, hey, when it was happening.
Yeah, I was in Sydney. Yeah,
So
how long-
you copped it.
Yeah.
I copped it.
Yeah.
How long?
You guys copped it too.
Oh yeah, for a few weeks.
A few weeks. Yeah, we had it for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it for a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
What
how long
was yours?
was
9 months?
Yeah. How long was your lockdown for?
I don't even know anymore because I stopped coming out. Like, I just stayed in. I was just like, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm not going. It just kept going in and out and in and out. And then I was just like, I'm just going to stay in and wait for summer.
Yeah.
And then it came back in summer and I was like, oh, this is just the worst.
Nightmare. And after everything that's happened now, it was such a waste. But it's helped us be introvert.
I heard on a podcast you were like, I hope I get COVID and die. And
Yeah.
then you got it and didn't die.
Yeah.
So
I have had it twice now.
You've had it twice.
Yeah.
You look stronger than ever.
It's after the bender on the weekend.
Well, I definitely had it,
Yeah.
and I ran 20 kilometers with it.
Yeah.
So you know what, Delby? It was fuck all. No, it's
Oi, boys, I can beat you both. I have it.
you Utes. No.
What mental illness did you get?
I got a few actually.
Let's
I'm
discuss.
collecting them. No. I think I've always had it. I think a lot of people will probably, especially in comedy, like
Oh, for sure.
there's a lot of being on stage pretending like you don't have it.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the audience going, that person needs help. Like, do you know, like, and we joke about it, like, oh, that's funny, you know, like,
Yeah.
you met Wolfie.
What is-
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
That's his opening line. He goes, I look like I need a mental health plan. I'm not okay, guys.
Yeah. I was in the green room with him. I'm like, oh, he's manic. Like, he's
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, I got bipolar. And he's like, yeah, I think I got that too.
Yeah, sick.
What do you think the connection there is? Because it does seem
With comedy and
comedy and like there seems to be
what do you
a
think?
lot of mental health.
Well, I think you try and like, you know, you go up there, you talk about your problems, people laugh at it. You're like, oh, great, I can just talk about my problems. People laugh. You're like, that's a good fix, but it's not a good fix. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just kind of like productizing your own
It's serving your ego,
pain
isn't
and
it?
trauma.
Yeah.
I guess it's like ego. I think it's just like it's putting like a happy Band-Aid on something that
It's a form of self-medication that's not
kind of exactly it placates you, but you don't really kind of improve because you kind of think, well, you know, you think people laughing at your problems is helping, but really you don't really change your material. You just keep saying the same thing. I feel like you're telling yourself that you're not well. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, if I get better, am I going to be funny?
Yeah.
So
Well, Wolfie used
And
to
the
say...
answer is no. So that's why I quit.
Yeah. Well, Wolfie said that when he would tell his problems on stage, it meant that he wasn't crazy because if people are laughing,
Yeah.
they must have the same experience.
No, it still means he's
So-
crazy. I can confirm.
yeah, it validates his feelings. He was suggesting that, like, if they felt the same about what he was jesting about,
Yeah.
it validated the fact that, oh, I'm not I'm not weird. I'm
Yeah,
not the
but if
only
you
one
go
who
on the
thinks
stage
that.
and hit yourself in the head with a hammer and people are laughing, you're like, well, I guess that makes sense then. I'm hitting myself in the head with a hammer.
Bam McGarris, Steve-O, Jackass.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Very successful. All have brain damage or dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bam's.
Bam's not in a good,
Not
but he's
in a
not
good-
taking responsibility for any of his
Is he?
actions.
Is he? So that was he like sort of kicked off the team?
Yeah.
Because of alcoholism or
Well, massive drug abuse, and then which fueled his mental illness. But also, he's blaming everyone else. He's not taking responsibility for anything, and he's saying, "Oh, it's their fault."
Yeah.
I feel like he had so much validation for just doing whatever he wanted and being a loose unit. That's like, how do you? It's hard to like go back because it's almost like a character in the end. Do you know what I mean? Like if people are cheering you on for being this thing, then like that's why I think the problem with like promoting this kind of wildness is that like when you go, I'm not going to be, I'm going to try and get my stuff together. Everyone's like, go. You keep getting pressured into being that thing, you know?
Steve-O's done well to quit everything, go sober, and pick his spots.
And just live in a caravan.
Well, just like
He's good. He's more chill now.
Yeah, his caravan's fucking awesome as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen that thing he travels around in?
Yeah, does the potty in there.
So cool, man.
Good system.
But he's like, he's got it, man. He can still do his crazy shit, but he doesn't do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
now.
he doesn't do the drugs and he's sober, hey? Completely sober.
Yeah, and a vegan. Yeah,
Good boy. No.
So
right.
we kind of glossed over. You just said that you got diagnosed with bipolar.
I did, yeah.
So how's that affected things? Is it? Did you feel like it's a breakthrough? Did it make sense or?
It took about 6 months because I kind of was in denial about it. Like, you know, at some point when everybody in your life is telling you that you have it.
Why were they saying that? What was some indicators?
Yeah,
for
what
you?
were the symptoms?
I've always been like, I'd get depressed. But a lot of the times it got like masked by touring. So like, so bipolar is like, manic. There's different types, but the one I have is you get like manic episodes and then depressive episodes. And my manic episodes have never been around comedy in Australia, so no one's really seen it. And
what were you doing?
I just we can get into it, but it's like it's like you get your mind works so fast, and you have no fear, and so like and you don't really sleep, and it can last for months. So you can get so much done. So a lot of it is like I get depressed for so long, and it usually is after touring. That's why I do so many shows because it like stimulates me.
Yeah,
and then after tour, I'll crash out for a couple of months, and then that would be my year. So I feel like stand up kind of masks the bipolar because like you think of like a gig, like it's like an adrenaline rush and then afterwards you crash and you're a bit tired the next day. And so I think like I didn't realize I had it because I just thought, oh, that's what it's like to be exhausted from stand up or like G'd up from stand up, like while you're on stage. And then Festival was doing like 6 shows a day and you're getting kind of manic running on adrenaline. You're just like, oh, that's the life. Yeah. But then when I stopped doing stand up and I quit, then the manic episode came on because I think I wasn't self-regulating my adrenaline. Yeah. So I was trying to find things that would stimulate me. So I just was like not sleeping and just painting nonstop and like listening to like techno way too loud and then just like calling people on the phone. I was like calling up just like ridiculous shit. I called up SpaceX. Like it just got so.
Is
like,
that Elon's company?
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to speak to Elon. Like I really.
What did they say?
I thought I invented a telephone. Like it went so manic that like I.
Hang on, you can't just brush over something.
I mean, it's
you
all
invented a
I haven't
telephone.
talked about it. We're gonna have to go slow through this because I haven't even spoken to this shit to my therapist.
Okay, cool.
So best place to discuss.
Okay, I'll explain We'll go
Whatever
slowly get into it. We're gonna have to.
Whatever you want to do, right?
Because it's gonna be hard for me to even remember. I've only get like snippets. So at first you like, you know, when you like haven't slept in days. You don't have the best memory of what's going on. So, but when your mind's working really quick, you can like have these like logic jumps. So you can like think 10 steps ahead and like 8 of those logic steps are good, but then the first one is wrong. So the whole thing is wrong, but like you just convince you are, but you also convince everybody around you as well. Cause they're just like, well, he seems like it. Like
he knows what he's doing. He's confident.
I called up a hedge fund and asked for $50,000 in New York in a beret, smoking cigarettes from my shirt, like undone, like on Zoom. And I was like, I don't even know what I was like, I like invented this like weird bidding system because I studied math. So like I built this algorithm that allows you to like essentially reward the person for coming second in the bidding system. So that means that everybody wants to come second. So it just keeps self-generating. So it actually, you don't want to win. Like if you win the auction, you lose.
Is this a thing that you made?
Yeah,
where if you win, you lose.
You
so
win,
second-
you lose. But if you come second, you get there's
okay.
a prize pool that goes down. So you want to bid so that someone else bids ahead, and then it creates like what I thought was an infinite loop of bidding system.
Well, the way you explain it, I'm like, that makes sense.
So I got some like mathematicians and like chess champions to like put it together with me, and I just started calling hedge funds, and I got meetings, and then I was like, oh, like $500,000, just like I was like, blah, blah, and they were like, we have no idea what you're talking about, but we love your energy. So I was like, I'll give you 50,000, and I was like, nah, and then I just like, hang up. I was like, oh, no, I'm not interested. Just like, just reckless.
Mate, that's like Beautiful Mind, but like kind of almost more effective. If you could do that with gambling, I'm in.
Oh yeah, but it is gambling because you just leverage and leverage and leverage and leverage because you just like, you have no fear. You're like, I just have to keep going bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, but when it falls down, it's like catastrophic. Yeah. Like I was like, so like when I went down, like, and it's scary because you know when you're manic that you're manic and you want it, you know, if it ends, the longer you're in it, the worse the down is going to be. So you like become scared of it. Yeah. And then you just start creating your narrative. You're like, no, it's good that I'm in here. And you just want to get something out of it. Because I feel like when you have bipolar, the depression is like, you can't get stuff done. Yep. You know, and then you feel inside like you have all these ideas, but you just can't get them out. And during the manic, it just comes out. So you want to get a lot of real world kind of traction so that when you do crash out, you're kind of covered. Yeah. But then eventually it just comes.
Leverage is Wolfie's favorite word as well. So this is making sense.
We had a very, very good chat about this.
Yeah. Because something that you mentioned just then, how the fuck do you know mathematicians and chess champions? Oh. Like you were just like, I spoke to some chess champions and mathematicians and we made an algorithm.
Well, I studied maths and I used to play this game called Magic: The Gathering, which is like...
That's a card game?
It's a card game. But I used to be ranked number 1 in Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So I was really good at it. I made a bunch of money when I was young. I stopped when I was like 17, but then I put up a post on like that. Like I haven't played in like 15 years. And I was so manic, and I just put up this like huge post on the Magic: The Gathering like Facebook page. Yeah, because apparently it's huge now. Like,
it's massive.
Loads of people playing.
Love it.
But I played back in like 2001.
Before it was cool.
Yeah. Like, well, it was like, it was big, but it wasn't like that big.
Yeah.
And I essentially was like, I want to play like one last game, but like with all the best people from the 2001. Are they still around? I was like, I was number 1. Like I do this. I don't want to play with anyone today. I want to play with these. And they're all like professional chess players, poker players. One of them owns all of the good game stores in Australia.
Were you aiming to come second?
And I was like, and I was like, let me know this bidding system. No. Wow. And I was like, it was like a $10,000 buy-in. And then I played because I was good. So I was like, I reckon I could train up and. But I also thought it'd be amazing just to get everyone together. And then people would message me like, oh, we'll film that. Like, we'll do all this. And then I just started speaking to some of them. And anyway, my conversation went on for a while with this guy. I can't say who it was because he's very high up in the government. But he does like a lot of, no, I won't say. But yeah. So it all just kind of came out of that. Yeah. I just was recklessly calling people that I didn't know and having great chats with them. And then eventually just going, let's do this. And they're like, this sounds fun.
It sounds like a good superpower if you can control it, man.
Nah, I just go slow now. Yeah, that's why hopefully I could just go slow.
Because if you've got the brains and the wit to be able to network and workshop like that and get people to agree, if you could have an idea that's like solid in the foundation, that sounds like a great base.
I mean,
if you can harness, if you can harness
I've always felt I've had it, but it's always come crumbling down. So like now I've kind of like checked out of the ego of thinking I can make anything and just like now I just make art because I'm like and then I'm just like at least it's like not trying to say I'm not trying I don't want to have an opinion on big things anymore because I'm or trying to be like complicated. I'm just like I'm an idiot. So comedy's good because you're an idiot. Yeah. And painting is great because you're an idiot. Like you like also it's so funny to show someone a painting. Like that's so embarrassing. Like do you know what I mean? Like it's such an embarrassing thing to do. Like you're like a white person being like, like it's such a I am like a first world problem. And that's what I like now. It's not trying to pretend to be anything other than like a mentally ill artist and a comedian that's just making fun of themselves and everyone else in the room.
What what was I going to say? Did you, that 10 grand buy-in, sorry, that's stuck. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Were you like, it's 10 grand, let's do it?
Well, the cards we were going to play with were from like a very old set that to get that would be about, it would cost about $10,000.
Because the cards are expensive now, eh? It's like kind of like Pokemon cards. You can get some hell.
Yeah. But it would be like an unopened pack. So there's not a lot of them from back. And that was the period that I was like number one. So that, because they bring out new sets of cards.
Yeah.
And that set of cards, which is like maybe like 800, was like that was the period where I was winning tournaments.
Right.
So I was like the best at that time. So I was like, I'm going to play, like this is the only period I can play.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I don't want to learn the new rules. But I was like, I reckon I can. And people haven't played that in 15 years. So I was like, I don't think I've lost my advantage.
Yeah. It's like someone playing Donkey Kong from.
Yeah. When you were good at Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you need an unopened pack? Is there an element of luck or like?
Oh, yeah, it was called like draft. You'd each have 3 unopened packs of 15 cards, and you sit around 8 people around a table, and you take one card, and then you pass it to your right, and then someone else would take a card, and you slowly take out one card. So you can start to figure out what other people are playing, and you have to build a deck based on kind of figuring out what everyone else is picking.
Right.
Because you could see which cards were missing. Like you'd have to card count, and then there's different colors, so you got to do like maybe a deck with only 2 colors.
Yeah.
And so you can see which colors are being taken. And because you know all the cards, you can kind of start to build strategies. So you kind of build a strategy before the rounds even finish, and then you play each other and then go from there.
That's
Sounds
fucking
like
awesome. I love that.
It's
like
a cross
you really
between
enjoy it and enjoyed
backgammon, bridge, and poker. Like that at its fundamental. If you get rid of all the dragons and stuff, which I didn't like anyway, but like the actual mechanisms is like.
So if you liked it so much, why did you stop?
Oh, my parents said that it's embarrassing and that you should go.
Was it literally an ego?
So you did comedy instead?
No, I did maths and engineering.
Was it an ego thing? Like you felt like it was embarrassing? Because it sounds like
it was embarrassing. When I was playing, when I was like 16, I was dating this girl. She was like a model, and I was like so stoked because she was so attractive and like so lovely. And then I would go and hang out with her on Saturday night, and then I'd stay at her house, and in the morning I'd be like, oh, I got like a family breakfast, and at 7 a.m. I would like drive out an hour away to play this tournament with a bunch of like 40-year-old lawyers and psychologists and mathematicians, and I would table talk the shit out of them. Because I was so young, I got to be the little shit. I'd be like, this is so embarrassing. Like, you're losing to a 17. Like, I go to school, man. Like, you've done this for 10 years. I only started playing the other day. And then
you'd be so
and they're so angry, and they want to yell at you, and they'll call the judge over, and they're like, oh, he's cheating. And I was like, look at yourself. Like, you're calling me out for cheating. Like, you just accept that you're going to lose. And they would get so angry. And then I'd used to like hover my hand over, because I used to pretend I couldn't play. And then so I'd be like, so they'd try and read what I was doing. So I could bluff really easily because they expect me to be bad at the game.
Right.
Yeah.
I fucking love this, man. It's so cool.
Sounds like you really enjoy it, and I think you should start playing again.
I reckon you should.
Yeah.
I like anything where you require strategy and a little bit of nous. And
But you turn it into an addiction, like fucking gambling.
Oh, yeah. I think all those things are addiction.
You've got an addictive personality, I think.
If I'm good at something, I get addicted
and you'll
to
be
it.
like, I want to. But I can see how you like strategies.
I love strategy, figuring shit out.
I think everything just takes too much time now. Like, the more people that do something, eventually it just becomes like time put in, and then like just edging, like just getting small percentages. And I think that game blew up so big that the amount of time to be like a champion now is like that's your entire life all the time. So
okay.
Anything that you can do online is like it's really hard. I think.
Yeah, because there's more competition.
Because there's so many people. It's a global thing then. Yeah.
But then theoretically, you could make more from it if you're the best at it.
That's true, but then if you're like the 100th best, it's like it kind of
so in these manic episodes,
big fish, little pond.
Yeah.
Like living in Perth.
Yeah.
It's a comedian. I want to move here so badly.
Yeah. Mate, do it.
I would move here I am thinking about it.
Really?
I love Perth.
for the lifestyle.
I keep coming back here, and people, on the East Coast, people don't think anything of Perth, but over here, people don't think anything of East. And the thing is, I like Perth more. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable. The energy's nice. In Sydney, I'm just like, I don't even know what people are doing. Like, I hope people in Sydney hear this. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's so expensive, and people can be so like I'm important. But you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Is it much more hectic?
It's kind of like hectic for no reason at all.
Just
In
because
my
of sheer
head-
numbers, maybe.
Well, in my head, I look at Sydney, and I literally thought about this the other day, only specifically because it came up with the Dusty Martin going to Sydney. And I was like, I wonder if I could go live in Sydney or somewhere like that. And I was like, I could not do it. I couldn't live in Melbourne. I couldn't live over there. And then I didn't know whether it's because I didn't like the idea of living there or the fact that I love Perth so much.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is. Or do you just
love
just
Perth
create
that much.
You think it just you create your own home and you nestle in there?
I think, I mean, for your mental health, having a good network around you and where you feel comfortable,
I just
Yeah,
don't see
that's
the
so important.
I just don't see the appeal of Sydney or Melbourne or like the East, maybe Gold Coast and like Queensland. I guess I'm
I could
sunny
live.
beaches.
I think I could
sort
live
of-
anywhere if I had a group of like 5 to 10 good mates that we were always able to do stuff together with.
Yeah.
If I feel isolated on my own, I couldn't do it. Now that's why I get homesick when I travel without anyone.
Because the idea in my head is the only reason I would ever think of moving eastern states would be for opportunity. And then,
Yeah.
but if I was going to look for opportunity, I'd probably go somewhere
Well, I think now
epic,
the world's
like
so
I'd
connected.
go New York, LA, that sort of.
But the world's
genre.
so connected. You can do almost anything from anywhere,
Yeah,
right?
And
Like,
I think
I mean, comedy. Sure, like you could be the big fish in a small pond. Like be good at Perth, stay in Perth. And you'd go over there and gig. But I mean, you can almost do anything.
yeah.
But they
remotely.
come back. Like Wolfie came back.
Yeah.
Well, specifically,
And you know he came back just for comedy.
Yeah.
well, if you were talking in that specific area, comedy, acting, movies, that entertainment industry, we're getting the biggest studio in the southern hemisphere.
Are
built.
we though?
Yeah, it's been
Is it
built.
happening?
yeah.
Yeah.
Built
Because they've
in-
changed mine like 2 or 3 times now.
Where's it been built? Is
Near,
it Fre-
down near Freo, but
Freo,
I don't know if
Como
it is.
sort of area?
Yeah, they've
Well, like a
changed mine.
film studio.
It's just been delayed only
Yeah.
as in because of materials and stuff like that. That's the
Yeah.
issue.
Are you sure? We
Yeah.
might have to fact check because I saw a big thing saying that
Better they just
they've
canned it?
Canned it.
because of what?
I don't know. They couldn't work it out. It was gonna
Because our
be
borders were closed. and they couldn't
non-profitable.
Fucking,
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
But again, if that's still on the border or
Yeah.
on an idea, if you're in that sort of genre,
yeah.
I don't think it's an issue with Perth. And
You'd stay here because there's a giant movie studio. That's.
Well,
If-
he wants
if-
to make movies.
Do you want to make movies?
I'm just
his
using
joke,
that
yeah.
specific example.
but is
as
that
a-
true? You want to make movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. What kind of movies do you want to make?
This is what I've been questioning recently. Going down a similar path to you, like I was wondering whether or not this is all ego serving, and
Oh,
whether
yeah.
or not I could just be happy just walking around the lake with my daughter and dog and living out a good life just with a normal job. Because I did all this for that. I quit my job.
Yeah.
I started a podcast. I fucking created a media company, all for this idea of the fact that I want to make movies. And I've over the last 6 months, and Delby's helped me work out. I do still want to do it. I want to do it for the creativeness, the fun of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is very ego serving. So I'm starting to.
What do you mean? What do you mean ego serving?
I think I had more of an idea of I want to be someone. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that was more
That
of
people
the drive.
that people respect as that something.
Now I want to make
Like a Michael Bay.
which is why the short film excited me so much. Not for being someone, because it would have been a creative outlet that no one would have given a fuck about, that I could have shown 30 or 40 friends.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was the creative experience of creating a short film.
Yeah.
And that excited me more than actually it being a success. I started to realize this short film that I want to film, that I've come up with the idea, Delby helped me last week realize it, it will go nowhere. We'll go absolutely nowhere. But the whole idea of the creative process.
Could go to Cannes. How do you say it? Cannes?
Yeah, but
Cannes?
that okay, it could, but that doesn't excite me at all. That's
Yeah.
not the whole idea of the creative process was what was exciting. So that
Yeah.
sort of validated
Yeah,
the actual creative process of creating a film and movie making is exciting to me.
Yeah.
But definitely early on, owning my own business, getting out of the rat race, having financial freedom, all of that was all about ego and trying to be someone. I can
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
my initial.
Well, I always thought I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
And this is before I did stand up. So that's why I moved to Vancouver to try and start acting. And I did extras work.
And you hated it.
And I fucking realized, I'm like, the only reason I want to be an actor is because of the fame and the notoriety that comes with it. I want to be able to go into clubs, pull chicks, da. And I was like, that's not fucking, I don't really want this, because then when some shit happened in Van and I was on my own, and no mates around, no family. I just wanted to be with my family and friends, and that was the most important thing in the world. And I was like, I don't even fucking really want this. And after experiencing what it was like on set, like it was so fucking boring. I was like, I just want to be home and be around my fucking family and friends that I love, and just be in Perth and do what I love.
So,
but then I did stand up, and I was like, this is the itch that I needed to be scratching.
Again, is the stand up an ego thing for you as well?
100%. But so, I love it as well.
Yeah, you enjoy it, of course. So it's
anything, if you want to know if it's ego or not, have a wank. And after you have a wank, if you still want to do it,
because it takes away
all your testosterone, everything that wants to be like, I'm the man. And so before I went on stage, I just jerked off in the green room.
Were you listening to your set?
I had hard yarns going.
It's interesting. Like, I think like my idea would be completely anonymous. Like I don't like in the same in stand up. Like I just want to. I'd love a way to have like just not be seen. Like even my art. Like it was so hard for me to attach myself to this. This is kind of like also why I came back out, because I'm like, I do need to make money, and I refuse to get a job. There's so many silver spoons in this mouth. Yeah. And so I was like, it feels like that, like the effort for me is not making the art. It's like having to go out and show it to people. Yeah. Like that's the hard thing. And it takes a lot out of me to do that. Like it takes a lot out of me to do stand up.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I started doing it again, is because if you don't do those things, like you're not out in the world just accepting that there is like this, people are going to appreciate it, enjoy it. It's like the isolation path is you get very comfortable in the isolation, and then you have trouble kind of everything is stressful, but like when it comes to like making art, like I just do it like 18 hours a day, all day, and just churn out as much as I can and not worry about, one, what people think, and secondly, what I am and how it's going to be perceived. Because I think once you start bringing those things out, you like miss a lot of like mistakes you can make, or you can find new paths that you can go down. Like you're just being creative, right?
Yeah.
And like I think being creative at its like heart is like you can't like do something creative and intelligent and brilliant. Like you have no control over that.
Yeah.
Eventually in your life that may happen.
Yeah.
But like to try and engineer it, and then also like how people will perceive that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people try and make things that they think is creative and intelligent, and people just think that's just stupid and it's dumb, And like,
or the other way around, they'll make something they think stupid and dumb, and other people go, "Oh my god, it's so."
So get out of it.
What does it mean? He's like, I don't know. Fucking shout on a piece of paper.
I mean, all you can do is just something that is you. I mean, like you can do other things, but like I like to involve I feel like it's like, especially like painting. Like this is I'm like, it's a documentation of physical movement and your own perception of the delusion of reality, which sounds so wanky, but like I'm just like, I don't want to get in the way of what this is. Like I'll just do it. And then I know like all your trauma is like stored in your body, the way that you think, like the way that you move, you can't hide that. You can see someone on stage, you can feel more about them than they even realize sometimes. And I think painting's the same. It's like, you can tell when someone's trying to do something, or they're trying to show something that isn't them. But you can also just imbue every movement with the brush with you. And the way to do that is just to not get in your own way. And it just comes out flaws, imperfections, like hopes and desires, what you want this thing to be, like the mistakes, like all those things. Because that is almost like your signature in a way. And that's why I think of paintings, like every painting is a signature where you're just like, fuck, that's me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it sounds like you need to be in a flow state for that as well, because meditation, you want to get everything out of the way.
Yeah.
And doing what you just said is just letting you come through and fucking off the noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignoring it and just letting it go. Otherwise, if you're going, I need this to be green to represent the grass, and I need this to be yellow to represent trauma. I don't know. If you just fucking be present and do it, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's kind of like stand up. It's like when you get in the
yeah.
Like you can't just go up there and be like, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you can, but like
it won't be.
The painting is just like, you keep trying to learn, learn theory, learn techniques, but then when it comes to actually doing it, I just think like just high amount of reps, just quick, fast. It's good to, I think when you deliberate over something for a long time, you end up ruining it, because, I don't think any painting is is finished. Like it's just kind of like where you chose to stop, you know. You know what I mean? And also it's fine. Like I think I like leaving some things unfinished sometimes because it's almost like a marker to be like, I'm not ready to finish this. This is not what I want to do with this or where I want it to go. I'm not.
Now, was you just said you do 18 hours a day. Is that manic or is that chosen?
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, like initially I wasn't manic, and then towards the end of the lockdown I did get manic for like 2-3 months. Yeah. And then I started painting less and less during that time.
Oh, and I thought you would have done like more.
No, I was painting more before, but I mean I still painted. I just didn't paint as much because then the flurry of activities. When you're manic, you don't just do one thing. You end up just doing like 10 things at once.
I've got ADHD. Sounds very similar.
Yeah.
But I don't have the crash after.
Oh yeah, but that's
you're just consistent.
I'm just always.
Just always.
Yeah. There's no like down. I'm like, all right.
Like last week, we bought a couple of outfits for skits, and then Delby come up with about 13 fucking ideas when it was for one skit, and then we end up like we got one little sort of half preview done. Yeah. Now we've got like 14 fucking ways we can go with these one skits, but his brain just goes bang, 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 bang. It's like a superpower though. You can harness it. And
no,
use it
you're right. I agree. I think like ADHD is is a super. My partner has ADHD, like very severe, but she's like an absolute weapon at creativity, getting things done. Yeah, like she's video editor, she produces film, producer. She paints. Yeah, she sings, and like she'll do all those things in a day. Yeah, just all day. She'll just do like 3 hours on one, 4 hours on another, 8 hours on one, and she can just like multitask, and that serves her ADHD well.
Yeah. I do it 15 minutes, 15.
Yeah, you got 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's unless I have my Dexies, then I'm like, right, I can sit, bang, smash this out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I very much like I'll start something 10
he'll
15
start,
and
he'll start something, he'll come up with a fucking awesome idea and be like, right, sick, let's work on this and craft it. And he'll go, oh, we can go there. or how about this? Or we could do this thing. And I'm like, whoa, that first one was sick. Let's just focus on that.
Yeah.
But like, is it similar? Like, so I think it's like a superpower for Delby, especially with your rapping. I think it's like really good with that, how quick
that's
your
where
brain
you gotta
works.
think 10 bars ahead.
Yeah.
Is it the same with manic? Can you harness it?
Sounds like no.
I think you can't. The harnessing is difficult because it's like there is a period where it's like the golden period where you're just like you're not delusional, like you're still just thinking really clearly. But then when it gets delusional, it's just hard to stop it. And then it's like it can undo everything, that it tarnishes and undoes everything. Because essentially, like if you have a project and then the person leading that project eventually goes crazy. It's going to ruin the project. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like all these things that started, and then you've got you keep taking more and more responsibility on. Like you're just doing so many different things, and it involves people that eventually, when you run out of energy, like they all kind of. So suddenly, everything that you've pushed out into the world just comes crashing back on you. So you feel very overwhelmed.
Like Atlas holding up the world on your shoulders.
Kind of, Because you're pushing against reality in a way. You know, you're going, I'm going to do this, and people are like, that can't be done, and you're like, well, I'm going to do it, and then you start doing. They're like, oh my god, he's doing it. And then they're kind of just like, wow, I think they're going to pull it off. And then so you feel that pressure. And then when you go down, you're kind of like, they're like, yeah.
And so how do you deal with that? Is there substance? Do you without, and this is the bad way, do you turn to substance?
I take like medication now.
So beforehand though, you had a show called Alcohol is Good for You.
Oh, before.
Would you drink? Would you?
Yeah, I would drink. And that was like, in the last couple of years, I didn't have such a problem. Like, I've never had like a real problem with alcohol. I think it was just more from like comedy.
It's good for you.
It's good for you. I'll promote it. You know?
Yeah.
But like drugs haven't ever been like an issue. It's just more like, it's just like I drank a lot of coffee. Yeah. I mean, Dexies is a big thing in Perth. It's not a thing in Sydney. Yeah. I wish I had ADHD. I think I might. I'd be good, but I've tried Dexies and they don't really. I can't function on them in a way that I find helpful. So, I don't. Yeah. But I think for me, it's like slowing the brain has been helpful.
So, what about physical activity, meditation? Tried any of that?
Yeah.
And helpful or not?
I used to do a lot of it when I was younger, and it pushed me into a manic state.
What do you mean?
Well, I was just like 8 hours a day, every day for a year, and then
you jacked as fuck.
Actually, you know, I think of it. I didn't even realize this, but I think I ended up inducing a manic state when I was 23, and I didn't even realize till right now from that. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Because of like you used exercise and meditation that you sort of just dove head first in and did
Wow,
too
I didn't
much.
even realize that. Yeah, because I only thought I had 2 manic episodes that were real bad, but I think that was a really bad one as well.
So
I forgot about that.
What were you doing? If you don't mind.
Oh, yeah,
sharing.
yeah. When I was 23, I was like, I didn't know what to do in my life. So I thought, oh, it'd be interesting. Like, I thought enlightenment was an interesting concept as a thing. I wanted to understand what it was like. Actually,
I think there's some Buddhas that were trying to do that.
I think they were trying to do that,
few
but people still try and
years.
do. People still try and do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was just interested in that, and then so I went to like New Zealand because I didn't know anyone there, and I thought it'd be nice to just get a house and just do that for a year. And
So you
I read a lot of
actively
books.
isolated yourself.
I isolated myself, and then just learnt meditation techniques.
You know how we were talking about how your imagination can make things bigger and worse. I picture this beautiful cottage in the mountains
Like
of New
Hobbiton.
Zealand.
No,
Was
no.
it just like the suburbs of
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Auckland?
Yeah.
No, it was suburbs of Wellington, but I mean, it was very like it was right on the botanical garden, so I used to just like be around the botanical gardens. But I did like quite an aggressive meditation of like an
aggressive meditation.
You can aggressively meditate. I
Yeah.
mean, like if you think about it, like trying to strip ego back,
Yeah.
like you know, it is if it's something to be shed, like the attachment of it, like you can try and aggressively shed attachment, but it's. I guess the militantness of it is also in a way like an attachment. So, I mean, I was very young and naive, and probably completely delusional. But then if you're just if you're like trying to hold a meditative state while talking to people, and that's all you do, and you've never done that before, like any kind of shift in personality within a year that comes from that is going to be like catastrophic.
So you try to maintain a meditative state whilst in conversation with people.
And I got to a point where I had no idea what they were saying. I just was like, why would they say, like, I kept being like, why? And then I just started, I mean, it got to a point that I just like, I felt like I was seeing like people's energy, and
Wow.
yeah, it was very strange.
Maybe
like,
you were.
Someone said hello, and I was like, all I could feel was like their intention. Like I started not hearing words, but just intentions of people, and I found it very confronting and confusing.
Were you accurate, or was this delusional?
I have no idea. I don't know. I got scared, and I moved back to Sydney, like, and I was like, I just got to not do any of this again, like, because I felt like I had to go live in the alone in the forest.
So you were either one successful in your attempts to try and reach that enlightenment, or working towards a path, or you'd put yourself into a delusional state.
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of anchored me was there was this one guy. His name was Benno Blaschke. I can't remember his surname. Blaschke, I think so. He was like 23. He was same age, and he was a student at the university, and I was at the university doing like a part time. And he
Maths?
no, I was doing philosophy of religion.
Oh, wow.
And psychology at that time. And he thought he was enlightened.
If you think you're enlightened, you're not.
You're not.
But then, no. But this is what's crazy is that like, I didn't believe he was, but then the more I got to know him, the more I was like, I think he might be. This is my case, okay?
Yeah.
He finished his undergrad in 2 years. It's a 3-year course. He did his master's in 6 months. And the first essay he wrote, he was Austrian, and the first essay he wrote in Buddhism was a 30,000 word essay for a 2,000 word limit.
So he failed.
On the experience of enlightenment, and that professor was a Harvard professor of Buddhology, said it was the best essay he's ever read on the topic. This guy started teaching at the university within 2.5 years. Like he's an undergrad that's just gone to his master's. And I would go to the class with him, and when he was in the class and the teacher would talk, the teacher would look at him and he'd nod. Like it was crazy. Like
so he's either enlightened
he was
or a
so aggressive. He was.
savant.
I think he was like
Savant.
and his goal was trying to bridge the gap between the kind of philosophy of enlightenment and then science. He says that's like the issue is that these kind of schools of thought never really get brought together. So he was trying to kind of bring these things together.
Yeah.
But he taught me a lot of like meditation techniques because I was like, I want the hard stuff. Like, how do we do this fast? And he's like, it's super dangerous. And his experience was that when he had that, it's not a positive experience. It's like you go into a catatonic state where your mind just stops moving. And they took him to hospital for like 3 days. He just lay there and his mind wouldn't move. Like he was experiencing, but he couldn't, like thoughts weren't passing. Like
It was catatonic.
He's catatonic. And then it slowly started up again, like an engine starting up again. And then.
Did he tell you this or?
Yeah, I mean,
I proof?
Proof that, no, I don't. So I don't know.
No, I mean like him, because he could just be the biggest bullshit artist of all time.
He could be. And I've tried to contact him since and he's never written back to me.
That would be so interesting.
Yeah.
Because like, I'd love to see the brain scans, because I've seen the brain scans of Buddhists meditating.
Yeah.
And it's insane. It's like actual
It's similar,
science, which
it's similar to psychedelics.
yeah,
They're very similar activations.
yeah. Well, that's the
Well,
shortcut.
that's what Stephen Bright was talking about. We had Dr.
Yeah.
Stephen Bright. We're talking about it was about 3 or 4 episodes ago, and he was talking about psychedelics. One of the biggest. I think we didn't realise this. He's the foremost expert in Australia on the subject.
in the whole of Australia.
On the whole of Australia.
Oh, he's a fucking legend. As
So
well.
I didn't realize. Always considered one of the foremost
Yeah.
experts. Anyway, and he was talking about the fact that people on psychedelics, their brain scans were mimicking almost very similarly to like. What did he? I think he said the high performing monks who are experts in meditation.
So he goes, you can either do all the work or you can just take a helicopter straight up.
Yeah.
But that's what I've taken away from all of that is there's shortcuts, but it's really hard to build the bridge.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so you can kind of like bypass all these things and like you can get to these states, but you can't. You need that thing to like take you there.
You don't know the track to get
and
there.
kind of like slow levels of meditation allows you to kind of like scale up and down. And that's kind of like what it's been like for me getting the diagnosis of bipolar and being on medication is like I can still access states that I need, but I just like now I can kind of like go up and down rather than like and then just like staying up here and then getting stuck down here and like
And you raised this last time and said, what's right and what's wrong. But I feel like sometimes, I guess, the long journey to get to those paths is always the more rewarding one instead of taking the shortcut because of the lessons that you learn. But you did say, and I do acknowledge that point, who's to say what's right and wrong?
Yeah.
Why isn't the shortcut the better way?
I think that's just because we've
to
got
do it?
so much hero stories about people that have ground away and worked so hard. So human culture is just, littered with examples of people that have worked hard and got to where they are.
You think about
so take a shortcut.
Well, you think about anything that you work extremely hard for, the reward at the end of it, the satisfaction. But then again, is that ego serving? Why not? Yeah, you could be right. Maybe the shortcut could be.
Because if you have magic mushrooms and have a breakthrough, or you took 2 years and you still get that same breakthrough, it's the same breakthrough. So one's just, one was quicker.
That's
Doesn't
true.
mean it- yeah.
But I would also say it's like a tree and its roots, right? Like the tree takes time. That's a universal law. Time is always the necessary substitute for the growth to be as strong as possible.
Yeah.
Like you can reach the height of the tree, but then you don't have the system
grounding.
that keeps you there.
Yeah.
And allows you to stand there.
Can I just ask, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
cool.
God.
Okay. It was good. Shared experience. Oh my Lord. Just checking.
That was Buddha Jamal.
Oh, that's a clip.
Yeah.
That's a clip.
That's because we won't be able to see
Yeah,
it. in the clip.
exactly.
That's
why we gave him a mic.
Weird that I'm big on the universe doing its thing. I just by chance yesterday I watched a clip. It was a guy talking about I think his name was the Silver technique. Jose Silva it might have been. And he worked on radio frequencies in the army, and his job was to fix like radios. And he had his kids that were struggling at school, and he wanted to figure out why. And he knew that if you reduce the resistance of a radio, then the parts work better. So he tried to do that with his kids, figure out how he could reduce their mental resistance. And they started answering questions before he would ask it.
Wow.
So that thing that you just said about you could feel the intention.
Yeah.
What was
Maybe
his
you
what was
had
his
reduced your
method?
frequencies.
What was his method?
I don't remember what his method was, but he would get his kids into like a meditative state, basically, get their mind clear, get them focused. But I don't know how much of that's urban.
How do you
legend
go with
it,
meditation out of interest?
Not well at all.
So your mind wanders?
Fucking oath,
And then
bro.
do you
I
beat-
feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm being lazy, and I'm like, I should be, doing something else instead of this, even though I know it's probably good for me.
It's hugely beneficial for centering and like this, that literally just fucking stopping for a minute. Especially someone like you who's fucking so manic or always constantly doing something.
Yeah.
Imagine that just 5 minutes a day where you get to just.
I use running as a
sounds like hell.
To stop?
That's 5 minutes you could be doing anything.
Yeah.
Having a coffee.
Exactly.
You should do Qigong.
So
Qigong?
Yeah, because that's moving meditation. That's open-eyed meditation through your body.
Is that the guys in the park?
I don't know. I mean, there's plenty like Tai Chi and stuff
That's
like that.
what I was
But
thinking.
I've done Qigong and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I use running as my meditative state.
That's
because
perfect.
when I run,
yeah, who's to say what the
I
right
don't think
meditation
about anything.
is? But do you know the way I get around what you've just suggested? Like I could be doing anything. I put it on a to-do list. I put the 10 minutes of meditation on my to-do list, and if I feel like I'm,
is that the meditation? Is you writing to meditate on a to-do list?
So when I'm
like really squiggly,
yeah. So if I have it on my to-do list, I feel like I'm checking a box. Now that's probably not really a great way to go about it. I'm probably creating some sort of fucking thing in my head.
But who knows? It could be.
But for whatever reason, it makes me go, hey, this is the 10 minutes I need to continue my day and to finish off my day. I need to check this box. This is 10 minutes I need to do. So instead of me feeling like, I always used to feel like that as well. Yeah. Like, this is 10 minutes. I could be editing a video, or I could be sending that email, or I could be whatever. I go, no, that's part of something I had planned I had to do today. Same with I do that with everything.
I have a to don't list. That's that's the list that seems to be bigger. So I write
what is your to don't?
I'm not sharing my to don't list.
It's
a private list.
Zoom call hedge fund managers asking for 50.
Yeah.
So when you got the okay on that and you just hung up, did they want to know why you didn't call back, or did you screen them?
Oh, I sent some mean emails.
You sent mean emails?
I was like, look, I can't even get into it. It's just the idea that I was like, felt so right in that moment. And then just to look back and just be like, I think like the way I summarize it all is just like, that was very stupid. There has to be, like, like you bomb a set, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I bombed like
a period of time,
trying to like have this like explosion going upwards and actually trying to like bring something into the world that I thought would be helpful and of value.
Yeah.
I made money as I could and then give it all away to charity. Like that's genuinely, and I was speaking to a therapist the whole time and he reminded me of that. He's like, everything you tried to do was just to raise money. Because I was thinking in my head, I was like, why don't I just use everything that I've learned in my life and see if there is any application in the world where I can make a bunch of money? Because I have no interest in money at all. Like I'm always broke. I always spend all my money away. Like I just don't even, I'm bad with money, but I can make it. So I was like, why don't I just make a heap of it, then give it all away, and then that'll have been a fun experience. Like I can make money if it's a game, but I can't make money if it's like, you got to put $1,000 in the bank once a week. That I can't do.
A long game.
I can't do this like incremental. But that's what the bipolar is as well. Is that I just have states of experience that go for periods of months, and then stuff happens in them. And then when I access it, I just don't even feel like that person anymore.
Yeah.
And so now it's just about like,
is it scary? Because like, you're like, fuck.
I just thought I was different. I just didn't relate to anybody else because I was like, the only people I related to were not comedians usually. It was mostly like artists, musicians, people that do extreme sports.
Yeah.
And, those kind of people. People that are like seek like the pivotal peak moments.
Yeah. Can you remember how you were feeling at that time, or is it completely foreign? Like it wasn't even like.
You just feel very present.
Yeah, okay.
You kind of almost feel like it feels a bit enlightened in a way because you're thinking very quickly. You can outthink. You think you can outthink people, and because your mind's working quicker. But I feel like you're just like people can't be bothered working at that speed. Like it's almost like because you miss things. Like you don't have anxiety. You just have like constant stream of consciousness that comes out, and because you have no fear, you don't worry about like you even don't worry about your own safety at some points. You know, like if you're not sleeping for a period of time, like that is so bad for your health. You're not eating, like you don't even think that might be a problem because you're just like, well, things are working, so I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like right now, can you remember how you felt, or does that feel completely alien to you?
I mean, it felt very good.
Okay.
It's you hear this a lot with people with bipolar. They like being manic.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Because
you feel us and you feel fucking like you're killing it, eh?
You do feel like killing, but you also your ability to observe the outside world becomes less and less, and it's more your projected narrative of it. So like you don't even feel your own decline, and you know people they know you're manic. I think a lot of people know you're manic, but they know that you won't listen.
Is it godlike?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't know what God is.
You get me admit on the podcast.
No, but it's like where you're like the center of, you're predicting your own narrative, so everything is the way you're designing it.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't feel like things are real. Like nothing feels. There's a kind of like it is a trip in a way because you don't really. It feels like it just doesn't feel.
Doesn't that feel like the last? And I don't know about you, Delby. Doesn't that feel like that for the last, and Jamal maybe? I felt like that for the last 6 months. Everything just felt a bit off, weird.
Well, it was that anyway. It's a reaction to that, isn't it? That's what I think also is just like, it's like we think like we're getting isolated, like the world comes crumbling, we're getting fed so much news about how bad everything, like Russia, China, America. And then you're watching all this stuff and you're not having human input. And it's like, you're just like, well, fuck, I just make my own world. You know, like I think it's a little bit like that.
And focus on yourself.
Yeah, but then it
is hard because with the podcast, we try to have fun. We try to have comedians.
Well, I think this chat right now is super important.
Yeah, really important.
Oh, do you guys try and have fun on this podcast?
Trying to have fun on the podcast. We try and enjoy it. But from time to time, we talk about topics. Yeah. And there are things I'd been sort of distancing myself from, like what's going on in the world. I didn't really want to know. I just was like shutting off. Yeah. But I realized we also enjoy knowing and talking about these sorts of topics. But it's like this, it's a double-edged sword because I enjoy talking about it, but then it's creating this mess in my head where I don't want to know it. So that's why
what don't you want to know? Like, what do you mean? Like, me talking about this makes you think about yourself.
Yeah, I want to focus on myself, and this is why I've started reflecting back on my path and where I am at the moment, and wanting to just go back to, like I said, and I use that. I don't know why that is my picture of pure happiness, but it's literally walking along the beach or around a lake with my daughter.
Yeah, yeah,
and just.
I mean, that's nice.
That's who gives a fuck if I've got all the money in the world? Who gives a fuck if I'm being creative? And it always gets to that point. That's all I want.
But that's all right. Just hold both. Like, you know, you can do both.
And that's where it is. There's balance. There's like these moments of like, hey, serve a bit of fun, a bit of creativity.
I think that's it. It's balance.
But yeah, I'm trying to rid myself of all this shit. But then as soon as I'll see something, I'll text it to Delby. Oh, Elon Musk just fucking sold out of Twitter.
I like it though because it makes it. Knowing other stuff helps me be creative.
Yeah.
Especially as a stand-up. Like you got to know what's going on, and then you can put your own narrative onto that as well.
I think that's not because look. Firstly, you know, hanging out by a lake with your daughter, like that doesn't take much time. Like you could do that. Every day.
I do it almost every day.
And then you've done that. That's great. And now you can do your other stuff. And I think it's like maybe we have this thing in our head like. This big goal, like, it's just going to be I'm going to be all this thing. And if I don't put all the energy into it, but you spend, like, how much time do you waste stand up that never goes anywhere, writing ideas and stuff? And then really, I think it's like creativity just, like you say, feeds into it. Like, I love painting because I'll paint for 8 hours a day. And then when I get bored of painting, I'll go do stand up. And then the things I can't say in stand up, I'll put into my painting. And it's different mediums and they do feed into each other. And you're not feeling like you have to channel everything through this like one like box, you know what I mean? And I think stand-up's verbal, so it's nice to have like a visual medium because you can convey a lot of different things. And perhaps it's the same, you know, with what you're doing is like you want it to be this one thing that it has to be, but there's so many ways.
You can't walk around the lake with your daughter 24 hours.
Oh, I know, and that's it's the yin and yang. That's the balance.
An hour, it's great.
But it's also like these
She
situations.
might not want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. She might,
Did we
Dad,
speak to her about this?
I want to be on the iPad, Daddy. But like, there's moments I'll be sitting back at the beach and I'll be there with my daughter, and it's this perfect sort of moment, and I'll sit there. Oh, this would be so nice if I had some music playing right now, or this would be a better moment if I had some friends around.
Yeah.
And I always, instead of going, this is a really nice moment. Oh, this would be nice, better if it was less windy today, and then 2 days later, I'll recreate that. Oh, yeah, I'll get my friends around and we'll do that, and we'll have the music, and then I'll be like, oh, this would be better if. And there's always another.
I think that's human nature for sure. I
so
do that.
Instead of just going, this was really nice anyway.
I'm fucking so bad for that. I'll be like, yeah, it's good, but it would have been better if it did this.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, man.
Just enjoy what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at with anything, with shows and stuff that we put on, like the Up in Joke show. There was things in my head. I was like, oh, this would be better if. And I remember like post going, this was fucking perfect. Why didn't I just stop and take it more? Got a bit too drunk, to be fair. But like, why didn't I just stop and take it in and go? I'm standing on a fucking stage in front of 1,000 people, running naked, and but just enjoy it. Just take that in. Like,
I think you always want it to produce something that's good and enjoyable, and there's that extra external pressure of like, fuck, we need to make this completely perfect. But what's already really good, people are going to be like, fuck, that was perfect. There's all perspective.
Also, you just accept that it's probably bad.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And however people react is okay, because something can be bad and people can still really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And they can even think it's good. Like, you can object. It's just like the lens. Like, you can look at someone's comedy set and be like, they could kill. And as a comedian, you go, yeah, but I don't like that. And that's not good comedy to you. And it's like, if you're Dave Chappelle looking at, you'd be like, this person's trash. But then to an open micer, you're great. And to an audience member, you're amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like, which do you choose to judge your own stand-up? And I feel like in a way, like we do that sometimes is like we like let the gods of stand-up like judge our self. But that's like, well, they're not here. Like, you're just doing this now. Like, maybe one day I feel like you just want to steer into the directions. I can't believe I've even giving you any advice to anyone. Pretty much what you want to do is get on the phone to SpaceX and you let them know that you invented a telephone for communicating telepathically between planets.
Is that what you said you created?
I will not confirm or deny that I got a voicemail and left a very long message that when I look back, the invention pretty much just is an orgasmatron. But
it's just the thing that,
I think it was just that. I think I'd seen one that day and thought it'd be funny if you could get the nodes like connected to your head and then send out radio signals through a thing.
Well, they're doing that, Neuralink.
Yeah, well, then I found out they stole my idea.
Fuck yeah.
Even the conversation like this, we're a podcast where 3 white males trying to be philosophical.
Philosophical?
I think you just got your clip there. I think that's the clip. He's a genius.
It's so stupid. It's also very.
It's not up to us if it's stupid. It's up to whoever listens.
But what is this podcast? I'm confused. It's the Hard Yarns podcast.
Yeah.
So what happens? You tell hard yarns?
It's hard yards stories with lots of yarns, like jokes through it.
Oh, you got to do jokes in it. Because I didn't do jokes. Then he started getting stressed out about the lake.
No.
But I don't care. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
We just talk shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for being so real.
No.
This is good.
We do. Basically, it's pivoted to having just real talks. Going deep.
Yeah. It's just turned into Joe Rogan. That's what it has.
Oh, no.
I think that this is just a really good chat to have, man, to be able to talk about what it's like to have bipolar. I don't know anyone except for Wolfie with it. That hasn't been.
I don't think he has it. I mean, he doesn't know.
No, he does.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if he'd admit. I don't want to like.
Yeah, no, he said it on the potty.
Okay, he did. Yeah.
So,
Diagnosed? I can't. See, your memory is fucking ridiculous. I can't. At the end of this conversation, I'll be able to remember this podcast for an hour and a half. If I quickly get out some clips, I'll go, yep, that was a good part. And then the next week, like, I'll see a friend of mine who listens to every episode and he'll be like, oh, that was, and I'll be like, don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I can't remember.
The other thing that gets tough is like, I don't remember if I've told people in a chat or if they've heard it on the potty, like the story about having a threesome in Bali and then nearly crashing the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Someone messaged me that and was like, oh, you know, make sure you don't have to pack underwear because you don't wear that in Bali.
Yeah.
And that's because like I was getting wristy off this chick and like I had to take my pants off.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, did I tell you that? She's like, no, it was one of the early episodes.
Yeah.
Fuck. But,
you guys are not sure if you're recycling material now.
well, I don't care. I don't even think about that now. I'm like, fuck.
I reckon just do it again.
Because it's more authentic. If I
It's
tell
an
you a
encore.
story,
Yeah.
if you haven't heard it,
No.
It's hard as well.
You should tell the same stories every episode again. It'll be new to them.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, how many times have we said it? And then you're like, pretty sure I've said this on the podcast before. But
Yeah.
like, we're 129 episodes deep now. Like, we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
repeat certain things.
yeah.
I've heard you say genus on the podcast. It sounds like you wanted to say penis.
A smart
Like
penis.
a genius penis. A
Genus. He's such a genius.
What was I going to say? What was your breakthrough point? Or how do you feel now? Like you said that you've been diagnosed. Was that a relief?
Yeah, the best thing is I was so worried about this thing, and then like, what would people think? Like, but the thing is, like, people already think you're a psycho if they can't explain your behavior. Do you know what I mean? They're like, Sam's so weird. He like runs off to Berlin for 3 months, and we see him in like a top hat and a suit, like in techno clubs, interviewing DJs, and then he's back here just getting drunk on stage, like in a cape, and then doing very regular stand-up. Like, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And he lives alone in I live in a cake factory in Sydney, like by myself. And the place is just like, you look and you're like, oh, this is an insane person's like asylum.
Is it a working cake factory or an ex-cake factory?
I sleep in a cake oven.
What?
I do, yeah.
How big is the cake oven?
It's huge, yeah. It's got a big ventilation fan in there.
Sounds actually pretty comfy.
It is really comfy. It's warm.
Such
I don't come out till I'm ready.
It doesn't work anymore?
No.
Don't come out till I'm ready.
Is this like area for convenience, or is this suiting the artist vibe?
I have like this idea in my head that I just want to be surrounded by no comfort, because I think if you have the lake and your daughter view in your head, you just can't get anything done that of merit.
It just shits on your fucking perfect image.
I need concrete walls, concrete floor, and just a bunch of utensils
I got a place-
locked away from the world, and I just go.
I got a few mates there.
Yeah.
You been to jail before?
Oh, no. I mean,
want a free
people
jail?
find themselves in jail.
Yeah.
They do those nice, like, these etch things into the wall. Like, help.
Discomfort's great. Like, creates context and stuff.
Discomfort's great. You can't be creatively and comfort. You need like, that's what it is. Like,
You need
stand up, you got to be
challenge.
broken to like actually say anything of merit, or in a way that is interesting and authentic. Like, but then you can also heal, but you can still recount your experience of being broken. But you can engineer broken states. And I think like that's perhaps what I was a bit interested in the manic, is like, I'm kind of like, okay, I've got my reality, so I just want to throw spanners at it while doing the same thing and just see how it changes to be like, oh.
Yeah.
But then at the end of it, it was just like, oh, you have bipolar. And then, so that's been good.
Doing it for the material. You need to live a life to have something to say.
Yeah, life experience.
I reckon my idea is just go for it, right? Like that's why I'm like, yeah, let's go, son. Like, I want to go big, and I don't care if I fail. It's just that this one was so close to like very, very bad that like I was like, okay, maybe this period of experimenting needs to like actually look into it. And it's funny that because you don't want to be like, the reason you did all these things is because you have a mental illness. But then once you get it, like the diagnosis, it's actually great because you're like, it helps other people go, oh, they're mentally ill. But I thought people would look at me differently, but they're actually been very supportive. Like, everyone's like, as long as you're not acting mentally ill, you could say that, and then people still kind of treat you the same. But then they also kind of can forgive you when you're like, you can just own it. Like, I'm so sorry, I was just being a bit. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you feel like you took some power back by getting a diagnosis? Or it just explained things?
I think it maybe a little bit of power back. I thought it wouldn't. I thought it'd be the other way. I thought it kind of would be debilitating, but even in comedy, people have been
Because
really
there's a
supportive.
label as well, right? Because now there's a label to it, which it could be either way. Like, oh, it could be great, or it could
especially
be
like, you never really gave off those sorts of vibes. Anytime I'd met you, would seem
You'd never see me manic.
But but like, whereas you look at like Wolfie, and it's sort of like,
but
you see it and you go, yeah.
I think he's just refusing to come down from being manic. Like, I think he is
manic.
He's just like stabilized at manic level.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he harnesses his. He obviously has ups and downs, but he harnesses his in a way, and he uses it on stage. That manic state is like hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe not for him.
It's funny how like when you get it like the manic like that, you just want to like you do very quickly go being like you want to leverage trading.
Yeah, yeah. But we've talked about the manic state. What was the downs like, man? Because I've never been like fully depressed. I've been super sad, but I haven't had depression like people explain it.
Yeah.
Now that would feel.
Do you?
No, I was the guy who couldn't understand how anyone could have depression or anxiety or anything like that, and then trauma, and then bang.
Oh yeah.
So like, wife had an affair.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Do you know what? It wasn't the affair. I don't think that really triggered any anxiety in me. It was like the being left alone, or maybe the loneliness. I think I'd attached myself to this whole family dynamic and whatever. Anyway, for whatever reason, which I sort of haven't really properly gotten to the bottom of, but the anxiety attacks and stuff have gone. But yeah, the anxiety attacks would just come out of nowhere.
They're fucking scary.
And fucking debilitating. And I remember like having a bath with I was having a bath with my daughter, and we were showering stuff, and then I started like hyperventilating, and I panicked even more because I was like, who's gonna look after my daughter if something's happening like right now? And then it fucking escalated, and then I just realized, that's what an anxiety attack. I'd never had one before, and then I sort of like I was able to actually recognize it, and that helped. But
anxiety is the worst.
But yeah, just but
it's your brain terrorizing itself.
But for about 3 months, I had this just. I guess depression is the right word.
I feel like anxiety and depression, for me, is very closely linked, because I didn't think I was an anxious person, and now I know that I'm very anxious. But the depression comes as it's almost like a reaction to the anxiety, because I guess like post manic, you've done so many things and you can't really remember very well all of them, but you know that you've left a wake of destruction. And so these things all exist in the world now, and and then you are aware that everybody might be thinking this about you, and you're hyper aware of it. So there's a lot of things to think about, and you feel very sensitive. And then so to think about all these things at once, it makes you're incredibly anxious because there's a lot to worry about. So then you have a choice to avoid all that and then just switch off from it. But you do that, it just pushes on you in the background. So the anxiety is there, but then it converts into a kind of depression because you become so avoidant of the reality of this thing that you feel it, like you just feel this massive weight on you, but you're not even choosing to access it. And so it's almost like getting up in the bed in the morning and like realizing you've got the biggest day at work, and then like just putting your head under the pillow and the blanket, and you feel so guilty and ashamed that you're not facing it, but you've got to try and get away from that thought, but it just never goes away. And so you just kind of just feel like you're getting crushed, and you just have no energy. And I think once you're in that state for a while, like it just is, it's depressing. Like it's actually objectively, that's a depressing thing to do.
Yeah. So I've got that. I've had that heaps, but it's more like I've always explained it as an imaginary weight pushing down on my head. It's not real. It's just things that I've thought that I have to deal with. But then I know that I've got to fucking just face it and do it.
That's situational, hey? I guess that's pretty similar to what mine would be. I think Chelsea explained it as situational depression from memory. We should get her back on to talk about all this stuff again, but she's...
Yeah, because there's two schools of thought as well. There's one that depression is something wrong with the brain chemistry, and then there's the other school of thought where, no, that's actually, there's nothing wrong with your brain chemistry. It's not a chemical thing.
It's just a natural way of...
Just a cycle. It's just the way that your thought patterns.
But I think also, like, when it comes to like bipolar, it's like, I think if you're revving a car, if you're redlining a car for 3 months, like afterwards it's going to go pretty slow. So your brain does actually go slower because it's just, I don't know, it's probably damaged.
Brain damaged.
I could never, and that's the biggest kick up the ass was this thing in my head. I was in the school of thought, maybe not 4 or 5 years ago, but certainly when I was probably 18, 20, 21, that sort of age, anyone who said they were depressed, I'd be like, you're not depressed. You got this happening, you got that happening. You just fucking, you're just upset and fucking deal with it. That's what was going through my head.
I thought the same thing. I was like, just get on with it.
Now, I do think that still happens for some people, but
I think we've made it too easy to just blame it on
Yeah.
I'm depressed, where it's just no resilience.
Yeah,
But then
100%.
there's other cases.
But then I can't. Well, no, I can explain. Obviously, an anxiety attack out of nowhere, like for no reason, obviously based on trauma for myself. But like, that's someone who literally was who I felt like I'm the happiest guy in the world. I'm the happy-go-lucky guy. Nothing can upset me, and then bang. So it does show that. I guess that one's probably leaning towards situational stuff. But
What's effective to get out? Because medication, what are they? What's it? What is it? Lithium?
I'm on Lamitragine, which is called, I think the brand is Lamictal, and it's like it kind of just like lifts you out of the depressive states. Because the manic states, it's interesting. Like the manic states come from the frustration of always being in the depressive states. So I actually engineer manic states to happen
To get out of it.
just get out of it.
Like a jump start.
Yeah, like if I'm feeling fucking down, I'm like, oh, I'll just do a stand-up gig because it's like it can just like spark me up, like the adrenaline. And so it's about lifting out of the depression so that you don't seek out behaviors that trigger manic states and not trying to like use things. Like I used to use stand-up to get out of being out of depressive cycle, but that's the wrong reason to do stand-up. Do you know what I mean?
What was it about stand-up that would do that for you? Was it anxiety or fear, or was it excitement?
The pressure of being in the present moment is like I mean, being in front of a lot of people and having to like think quickly, like it kind of sparks the brain up. You know,
What if you bomb? Does it just make it worse?
Yeah, I mean, it just is, the whole thing is ugly. I think it's intention. Like, it's the wrong reason to do stand-up. You don't do stand-up just so you can, like, not feel depressed. I think, you know, it's like, it's not like an art form in itself. It's like you should go up there and do the best as you can for this thing, not trying to pull something. I feel like that's what I quit stand-up is I stopped doing it I stopped enjoying it because I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And I came back to it because I was like, it's only going to be this one thing for me now, which is like, I'm just going to enjoy it. Yeah. And I really don't care about the career aspect of it anymore. I'm very happy to let it be because it's like a gift. It's so nice to do. I'm very lucky to be able to do stand-up and to keep doing it. You do get better at it. So, you know, but you don't have to think, oh, I want people to think I'm good at it. I just don't even care anymore. I really enjoy it. And coming back, the whole industry has felt very different now. Like I find it a lot more relaxed and I don't really care what people think or worry about things, but I still try and do well. I don't know, I just find it more fun.
It's good. It should be fun.
It's so
Stand-up's
fun.
fucking fun.
It is so fun. But if you're obsessing about like just this pressure, like I've got to do really well and then people will respect and then just like.
There's nothing funner than making fucking 50 randoms laugh. I love it. It's ego serving, but I feel good when I'm making them laugh from a thought I've had.
It feels good just doing the job. It's almost like, you know, like you're a blacksmith, you make, that's a terrible example.
Like making something.
You're making something, you're like, I made this sword well. Yeah. And it's like.
For Magic the Gathering.
Because I don't enjoy stand-up at this stage.
You don't enjoy it?
No, anytime when I say
I'm sorry for excluding you from this conversation. You need to learn to rap.
So I've not done it enough, really. Let's be honest. But I don't enjoy it. I get I don't know. I just don't enjoy it. If I say a joke and it lands, I don't enjoy that.
And don't do it.
I just feel relief. Oh, it worked.
Oh yeah.
That's not a good reason.
I feel like stand-up, you shouldn't enjoy it for the first few years. Like it's fun. Like it isn't. It is like everything is against you. Like it should be horrible.
Do you know why I don't like it? I know why I don't like it. I feel pressure from the fact that I don't get to be the no one. Not that I'm someone, but I don't get to be the no one that no one of the other comics know. Just some guy trying to do open mic.
Oh, everyone knows the shit comics.
Yeah, I know, but like, and then I've said this before. I'll go into the green room and then, fucking Cole Legacy go, "Oh, you fucking suck!" Like, and I'll be like, he wouldn't say that to another open micer. He'd probably give him advice. I feel this pressure of like, I started after I'd already been on a podcast and had all these people on me on the podcast, so it just feels like this.
Brendan Shaw Burnett.
That's how it feels.
You need to surround yourself with worse comedians than yourself.
I want to,
and that way you can be the king of comedy in your world.
I did it once where I went to an open micer, and not that I was good at comedy, but I was the best on that night. I performed the best, I feel, and got the most laughs and did pretty well. And I felt like,
That's it.
I'm the king of the castle. I felt good about it, but I enjoyed that.
We'll start running over mics.
No, I don't want to run them. But I just I like going to the open mics because I feel like I'm amongst the people who are at my level.
A real
because I'm not very
comedian
good.
doesn't judge somebody at an open mic because it's open mic. You're going there to try new shit.
I know. But then Wolfie, who does not judge me, I know he says it in jest, but you're like, man, you lost the crowd.
He won't say anything to you that he wouldn't say about himself.
100%, I get it. But yeah, that sort of pressure, that outside pressure of like being on a podcast that has all the people that are the good comedians around, especially in Perth. I don't know why. I just feel this unseen pressure,
That's
I guess.
something you need to work through.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Or maybe I literally just don't like comedy.
No, that would be a lot of pressure. I would feel that, that would be hard.
It's like if I go to Sydney and I gig with the boys and I want to do well because I've gone there to perform. They know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm shitting myself because I've never gigged in Sydney. I don't know if my shit's going to be translatable, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there is that faux pas that Perth doesn't always translate to Sydney. But I was with Wolfie on the weekend, and he said that he did great at the Comedy Store, and so did Emo. And so I think we were talking about that, like, you can build an act in Perth that translates. I think especially
Emo's
now, like,
improved out of sight from.
I think the comedy scene here is getting is strong. It's like it's getting really established, you know.
Yeah, I try to do topics now that are worldwide.
Yeah, that's the way to write. Yeah, that's how you do it. You just think like once you travel to another place, you're like, oh, they do comedy a bit differently there, and then you can still when you write joke, you're like, oh, would that work here, and here?
Yeah,
and then you just try to write.
I love the local references because it's so like situational and present. Like I can do jokes about Perth suburbs or whatever, but as soon as I leave, if I lose that part of my act, I'll think of something over there.
Yeah.
But that's why I do stuff, relationship stuff. It's just, or drinking or partying. Like
very relatable.
Something that's universal. Because a drunk person looks the same here as they do anywhere else.
Oh, I don't know. You've never been to Scotland. So that's generational.
So
that's just driving.
At what point did this whole episode turn into a manifestation of your art?
Well, I think it actually ties into like the comedy aspect because it's like you do comedy for the wrong reasons. It's like ego and like you want to be perceived a certain way. And then so like art was like painting was like almost like an antidote to that. Like I pretty much came into painting and I knew exactly what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do. And I just did that. And it was like, this is going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy everything of it. I'm going to just experiment constantly. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. Then when you paint, you start small. I painted huge. I was doing 2 meter paintings straight off the bat because I was like, that's what I want to do. I rock climbed for 25 years. So I was like, I have good hand-eye coordination and visual acuity for about the size of my body. So I'll paint about the size of my body. I'll turn the lights real low and I'll just try and feel it all out. It's all visual, non-verbal. And it's like in stand-up. You want loads of gigs and you just have a huge turnover and then slowly you will come out. You can't just do it like once every couple of months or whatever. So I was like, I'll do 10 paintings a day. Like I'll just burn through these things and not care about failure. And then after a period of time, like months, then I can look back and see and then, you know, take stock, like listening back to your set. You kind of like, it's just a blur and then you listen back and you take some notes, you do some research, you reflect. So I kind of treated it like that. Like I'd have like 3-day painting bender and then like analyze it, look through it, learn different techniques, do another explosion so that I stayed in like these kind of flow states. So that it started in a not very non-manic way. I had a lot of people were very, I showed a few people, not that much publicly, but I got picked up quite early for kind of people sponsoring me and buying stuff.
Wow.
That's pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, how are you getting paid to do all this?
Yeah. I saw some paintings, so yeah.
That's sick.
Well, should we look through some of them? And
we can try look through. I don't know if it's going to come up, but we figured out how to.
We can do it on there, and you can show us on your phone.
Yeah.
I'm just
how did you value it? Or did someone just offer you some money?
I was so confused about how to do it. Like, and I was speaking to a lot of artists as well. So like I did try and check in. It was almost like not being a comedian, doing a bunch of comedy and then doing well at it. And then you're like, what is the standard? So I did speak to like artists and like talk through ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just get a lot of feedback that like I just tended to agree with the things that we kind of were on the same page. So I kind of, my mum's an artist as well,
Yeah,
and my dad has an art gallery. So like
Sick.
I've been around the art world, and she's taught me a lot. So
That's cool.
it wasn't too foreign.
Yeah. Is there much art of animal attacks?
No, there's no animal attacks.
Have you been attacked by any more animals since the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
potty?
that's what I did. I spoke about that. No more animals. No, that's like another world, you know what I mean? That's different.
Do you think they could sense the manicness?
I feel like
were just like
Madonna, just keep evolving through.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back next one and be like, I'm a circus performer, a juggler.
the comic formerly known as Sam.
Yeah. Well, I think you just do these different things, right? And then you like, you end up being like, everything's a little bit wrong. Like you kind of like, I feel like stand-up was like not quite exactly what I should have been doing. I think I should have always been doing art, but I'm glad that I didn't do it till so late in my life because like it's exactly what I want to be doing. Like, but I feel like I have a lot to bring to the table. Like everything I've failed in comedy, I've kind of managed to start art in the right way. Like it's almost like going on stage and enjoying it, no matter the outcome every time. That's kind of like what painting has become for me. So I feel very free within it.
So what's the vibe? Do you use like a specific, do you have like a favorite? Is it like acrylic, like water-based?
I like acrylic because it dries quickly.
Yeah.
And so you can
paint, move on quickly.
You can move on quickly. You can get a high turnover rate.
Yeah.
It's harder to bring out certain, like the richness of the colors. Like oil paint's really good for, I feel like it works well in like different times of the day with light and stuff. So I've done a bit in oil, but it is still too slow. So I think there's part of me, it's just like, please dry quicker. Yeah. So sometimes I paint and I've got like a hairdryer in the other hand, just like drying it so I can paint real fast.
So you won't paint like a landscape or a situation. You just paint whatever feels right?
I did paint a lot what's a landscape is like you're objectively like looking at a landscape in front of you, you mean? But in my head, I'm like, that's not interesting. Just
it's already there.
Yeah, it's there. Or look at a photo. Like someone can do that well. So I think like it's more interesting. Like I don't want to paint a tree. I want to paint my perception of a tree. And by trying to paint my perception of the tree, what I'm actually painting is my own delusional interpretation of reality that's based on my own everything, my insecurities, my traumas, my goals. So I try and paint the memory of a tree, and then I'm actually painting myself. So everything in a way is a self-portrait, just not in the form. So even when I paint a landscape, I'm not looking at the landscape. I'll look at it and then I'll paint it, but never look at it again so that I can see. I feel like every time I'm just doing a self-portrait, to be honest.
My drunk text messages. I just send them and I just never look at them again.
Never look at them again.
That's just me now for that person. That's who I am to them. And then that's it. That's my self-imprint.
How we go, Jamal?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. So
we're going to have to look on
your phone as you go through the
in
slideshow.
the order.
So I'll bring up the first photo now.
Oh, but that slideshow is different to the slideshow.
Oh.
Oh, we got on that one.
So whatever order.
Wait, he's got the link up, has he?
Yeah, so I just got the browser.
The link up, yeah.
So the PowerPoint.
Oh,
so
my bad.
your slideshow?
No, I was going to show just photos in a folder on the phone because we couldn't get that other one up.
But do you know the order of the slideshow that's on the phone?
It won't be the same.
Oh.
Oh, we could, but is that going to? It's not going to come up on the screen.
We
won't even know.
But he can flip the screen around for us.
We can just go on that. We can go through there if you want.
Yeah.
On this one.
Yeah,
If you find it, but it's
mine just wasn't loading up on.
So if you get that one.
Yeah.
Have you got that on your phone?
No, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. We'll do it that way. This is going to be so clunky.
All right. So show us, Delby.
So first one is like a greeny.
This is not going to work.
Green.
So this is like.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Can I have a look? So that's like a.
But I want to get Sam to. Oh, okay.
You can just do it like that. You can show. I know all the paintings, so you don't have to
Want
show
to do
me.
our interpretation?
I know it in my head, so it's all good.
Yeah. Do we do our interpretation?
Yeah. You can do your interpretation.
Okay. For me, this is either like a river flowing through somewhere, making its own way, or a tree.
Yeah, I see the tree and the stars and planets in the background with maybe a rock or something like that on the floor. That's how I see it.
That's very literal.
Yeah.
But talk us through that one.
Well, that there is death.
Oh, okay. How? Like, do you explain it? You just say it?
You see, that doesn't matter. I can say anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Just like you can say it's worth $3,000.
It's like I painted it, but I'm saying in some of them I can say things because you can talk about it. But
Yeah.
I feel like the way that I want to kind of present the exhibition that I'm doing at the Comedy Lounge, which on Tuesday the 19th, is
and half the money is given to comics to travel. So he's doing his.
It's great.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Philanthropy.
I want to pay for people's Edinburgh flights.
So that's
Perth comics.
Well, you fucking booked too early then.
Yeah.
Cancel your flight.
Yeah.
I feel like in the art, like I want to make it accessible, like because I've been to so many art galleries, 'cause especially touring comedy. I always go to art museums, and I lived in New York for a while. I'd always go to the MoMA and the Met, and looking at art, there's two ways you can look at it from like an analytical perspective, but you can also just look at it and just see it and experience it and have that interpretation. It has nothing to do with the description.
Yeah.
Like it's like I do a joke. It's funny or it's not funny. You enjoy the joke. If I have to explain it afterwards, that's not the fun part.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people, I just want people like, yeah, that looks sick.
I was about to say, I can't see the depth in it, but
I made that up. It's what I'm saying is like you just say anything.
Because I was going to say, I like it. It's something I would put on my wall.
But I want you to find, like, it's just your own meaning. Like, it is, I did that reflecting me, but for you, it's whatever, it's reflecting on you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a mirror for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a mirror for him. It's completely separate. So that's what it should be. There's no unanimous objective interpretation of this. I have some intentions, but they're not relevant.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Okay. So
it doesn't matter what you're trying to say.
yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's what you do. And so I don't even want to try and steer you.
Yeah.
And I've kind of moved away from that. I used to do more descriptions, and some I can talk about, but like ideally I would like something just to sit for what it is, you know, like it just works. Everything is a mirror. Like the painting is a mirror of me, but then once it's out in the world, that's not me anymore. That's your reality.
What I was going to say, do you mind if we look through maybe say 3 or 4?
Yeah, you can just look through them. Don't even ask me about it.
I want you to talk about the ones that you said want to do. So we'll look through the first 4. Because people listening, jump on YouTube and this will be up on YouTube.
Yeah, you'll be able to see we should have mentioned that if you want to see it.
And these is definitely like, these are all early ones that I did. So this one was like these big 2-meter paper paintings. So I did this in the first 6 weeks of painting.
So it's like a ripped piece of paper as well. Like.
So what's you go you and then I'll go mate.
If I feel I don't like it. Not like I don't like
you feel an uncomfortableness.
Yeah. Is that the red and yellow one?
Yeah.
That's a breakup.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
To me, it looks like a smashed guitar.
It feels.
I did that after a very savage, like a very bad breakup for me.
Yeah, feels clunky. And
funny that you said that. Yeah. It is.
Yeah. I was thinking
it reflects whatever.
Yeah. Interesting you got that.
A smashed guitar.
It literally makes me want to move around in my chair.
I'm also getting a little bit of if Chicken Treat fucked Red Rooster, like from the side. And they got like a smashed up.
It's interesting, but it's it just
makes you feel uncomfortable.
Makes me uncomfortable. Yeah,
that's good. That's something.
I like this. This is fucking kind of psychedelic. It's the blue one. Now what you got here
with like gold lines. Oh yeah.
That's flow state.
That's a bit of flow state.
Can I see this a bit closer?
It's flow state for me. It's almost like frozen ice over water, where you see the little ice particles dissolving into water. It's like a change of state into flow state for me.
I love Branchy's reaction. This is why I like making painting. I don't care whether people think they're good or bad. I have no attachment to it.
No, they definitely.
I love seeing people react to things, and that's more interesting to me.
It's definitely good. I don't know what I feel when I see that.
You don't have to feel anything.
No, but like it's. Give me one more look.
We got to show them a landscape. See if you can find a landscape for Branchy.
No, just still
with a girl by a lake.
Or a father
like,
holding a daughter's
talking
hand.
about.
I see a person
at the top.
No, I see a person down here, their face, and I see them looking up into the sky. That's what I see. That's how I see it. That's how I feel. What was it painted in a certain way, with a certain
intent
with that one?
Yeah, you can't see it in the photo, but there's a layer of gold paint over the whole thing, and then I did a very, very thin wash of blue, and then I've got these kind of like gold lines. So when you move around it, it acts like almost like a hologram. Like the light picks up differently, so it looks like it's floating, and it's painted on very thin 80 GSM paper, and I hang it like a scroll, so wood at the top and bottom, so it kind of moves. So it's trying to create the like floating layered feeling. So it's more of an experiential one. It doesn't really work so much in the photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this one. This one's like a Japanese story, like a historical Japanese story. But I feel like this also might be depression.
Yeah, it just feels like climbing a wall. It feels like
Which one's that? Oh yeah,
it feels like trying to escape, trying to get out.
So that one actually does. Something I try and do a lot in the paintings is like is great. Not so much a degree of discomfort, but I'm very interested in not being able to see one thing. So like when you get those like if you see someone from a distance and then you're like, oh, that's a tree. It's not a person. But your brain keeps switching between it's a tree, it's a person. You can't quite make it out. I like to keep right in the middle where you're not seeing just one image, you're seeing both, but you're not completely seeing one or the other. So your brain is left right in the middle. And that level of like not being able to attach means that then your subconscious can come out.
I like whatever that one is. I like it.
So that one there is a beach. If you look at it, it's
the
last one. You can look at one of the images is there's a harbour with a lot of boats in it.
Yeah.
You see that top down? The other one is it's a descending layer of heaven and hell. So it's kind of going down, which is like some of the old medieval paintings. They have these kind of like descent.
That's the one I could see.
Yeah.
I like that painting though.
Yeah.
I like it.
Sold.
It's interesting you say.
I'm trying to get out. That's what trying to get over the wall or whatever. That's what I was feeling. It's like trying to
something about that. I like that in tattoos where it's like I can see this stuff there, but I like to look deeper and find the little details in them.
Next one. Yeah, 100%.
This one makes me feel weird.
I love you guys responding to this. It's so funny.
I feel weird, man. I feel like it's fucking something's off. We don't really want.
Is this a critique on abortions? Looks like it, man.
Have you got that? Is it the same one? Yeah.
Which one is it? Oh yeah. Let's just skip that one. That one's not even finished. I don't even know why that's in there. I don't think this is just like a bunch of my first paintings.
So it is an abortion. It's not finished. Oh, this is cool. I like this. Sorry, there's dead air for Spotify. This is like like a blue arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's good. You don't have to.
I don't know.
I like it.
You like that one?
I just like it, yeah. Because it reminds me of like where I grew up and all the ferns and trees, even though it's probably like, is a satanic symbol above the wall? Or is it a chandelier? I don't know. I just feel like that. I want to go to that place.
Can I see which one? I'm going to have to put up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just like a very long hallway.
Yeah.
No.
No, I agree. I don't like that one either.
Well, like as in you don't like it? Like, because I still think the painting's good, but I just
don't like the painting.
I don't like the...
All right. Give us one that you want to... That you've got a story behind.
I can't get the thing up on my...
So we can keep flicking.
We can go. Yeah, keep going. Let's go.
Show you,
yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one to do.
It's like the bird.
The bird.
It's a bird.
This is the one that attacked you while you were rock climbing.
Show Jamal.
So this was a bird.
If you'd like to see this, reminder, go over to YouTube.
Yeah. This is probably the wankiest thing that I've done with this. I painted a bird with a feather.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
So you painted this with a feather?
Yeah, I painted it with a feather.
Nice. Birds of a feather flock together.
Not a paintbrush, just a feather.
It's very cool knowing that.
It's a yellow-crested black cockatoo.
Did you do it with the pointy end of the feather or the brushy end? Or
I did it with the
parts?
feathery part.
Yeah, fuck.
Like on his side, and then the different aspects, the different parts of the feather I used to.
That'd be a
try different
nightmare. Just the
details.
one feather?
And it's huge as well. That one's like 2 meters high. So it was a big ride. I felt very much like, there's a bird and there's a feather.
Well, I'll keep going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did this big series of like one and many. The idea of like having like a lot of, that's also one. It's like as a cow, but it's also a school of fish.
I can see a cow and a
One
fish.
and many.
Yeah, legit.
I feel like fish.
It's like a cow sitting down.
Yeah, cow full of fish.
You know, like your consciousness is like you really like many different things kind of, and then you try and streamline them to go in one direction. But then sometimes you feel like all your parts are going in different directions, but you're still one thing.
You're an interesting person.
I'm cooked, man. I'm so cooked.
Transformers.
I like that one.
There's another one and many.
I like the cleverness of that.
And
Oh no, skip that one. Some of these are just like throwaways. Nah, skip that. No, skip it. See if there's any more. No.
I'm just pulling up the School of Fish cow one now.
That's a good one there. This one.
This is very psychedelic.
This is about.
Show Jamal.
It's about a bit further down.
So it's about 4 to the right.
Oh.
It's number 18.
Can I see that one? Oh, I like that one. I reckon that's a really cool painting. I don't know what I feel about it.
It's
but
like a DMT Clockwork Elves. Oh, there's a bird in there as well.
Yeah, see the bird?
The bird's escaped the shattered cage, so he's getting free from some sort of shackles.
It's called the Mother Mary. It's like
Mother Mary.
It's a It's like I wanted to do a stained glass window, but without color, like to give the same kind of vibrance of a stained glass window, but just with black and beige.
It's really good.
I try and make that like electricity.
I like that one. That one's really good.
Yeah, because it's without the stained glass in a window, that'd be pretty fucking shit. Like all the different church ones. What's
That's
that?
that's the Church of Notre Dame. But yeah, anyway,
it's always been. Is that the one?
Look, there's a lot of that are like in between paintings, like ones that I just like. I'll show them anyway. I don't mind. Like just ones that I just like bang out. I'm like, nah.
Oh, that's West Coast Eagles season at the moment. So number 20, he won. That's the Eagles just being completely fucking themselves. Yeah, they're bent over and fucking themselves.
Looks thick.
Thicky boy.
The painting.
Oh, those are pretty cool.
What are you doing with the brush in there? Because it looks like it's almost raised.
I did those 3 in like one day, and it was just like blue and gold. What do you mean it's raised? Oh,
It looks raised.
it's just kind of scratchy, I think.
Yeah,
I just used
scratchy,
kind of the brush that I was using was quite dry.
We'll just cycle through.
I like that.
That's like Ganesha. So check out
I like that one, Delby.
27 is what we'll talk about now.
Which one's that? Oh, you like that? That was
It's like a Rafiki. Like, is it Rafiki from?
it's a spirit animal.
Yeah.
I like it.
Have you been attacked
You
by
like
a
it?
monkey?
That's funny. I know what paintings you'll like now. I can show you all the paintings you'd like.
Yeah.
You like a light and fun.
What's that one?
What is this
That
one?
was light and fun.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean, that
light
was
and fun?
that was an
I
antidote.
don't want depressing around me.
Because every time you do a painting, you know, like if you do a joke, you kind of want to do another joke afterwards that almost like is sometimes like an antidote. You do a joke that's too heavy, you want to do a light joke. So
Yeah.
I think the painting I did before that was like hectic, and
Yeah.
then not in the slideshow. I didn't put them in
yeah.
order, but then I think that was like an antidote to that. It was just like something real silly.
I like it.
Is it a monkey?
It's
Don't know.
It's just it. I like the color. I like the.
You know when someone's like, "I'm going to fight you," but it's like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
real
yeah.
cute and like they can't hurt you. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that.
It
A
just,
woman.
It just looks nice.
Just jokes, ladies.
It just looks nice.
Yeah.
Like
it.
Go a couple more. Oh, that's fucking. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
It's a painting.
obsolete. 29. We're up to 30. I don't like 30.
You've done a
That
lot of
makes you
paintings.
Makes you feel
That was in
weird.
the first 6 weeks.
And
So the ones I'm showing in
so
Perth.
what do you?
That makes you feel uncomfortable.
That one's good.
Can I see?
Elon, it's called Space Pig.
Elon Musk.
Can I see it?
Elon Musk.
Number 30, Space Pig. Maybe we'll finish on Space Pig. Is there any other ones you want to show us?
I know. Can I have a look at the?
Yeah.
Can I try the?
Is that after the SpaceX didn't call you back?
This is the yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Space Pig.
So the ones I'm showing in the exhibition are mostly not these. I just showed you the ones I did at the beginning. So that was like I've been now painting for a year.
Yeah.
And so that was in the first 6 weeks, and then since then, like the paintings I'm doing in the exhibition are, I've done like things of Perth, like in Northbridge.
So meth,
A lot of
junkies.
that. Did the National Hotel, I painted that, and comic portraits, and then there's like a large series of like in black and red, which I'll send to you afterwards, but it's
Cool.
like I'll shoot them over, but it's just it's I wanted to show that more as interesting as like as you can see, it's just like
Progression.
just very sporadic, different, and
Yeah.
it was kind of like I just didn't really mind, but now it's becoming like more cohesive themes. Like I'll do a series of like 8 paintings along one style,
Yeah.
and then that'll be it. So it's getting like less and less
Chaotic.
and random. Like I'm having like longer periods of like, it's almost like exploring an idea. Before it was like, I want to go here, I want to go here. Now it's like, I want to explore a theme. Like in stand-up, when you start writing longer,
on
do you think
you might have 10 jokes on the same topic.
Yeah.
You know, like you have like that. You're like, because you're exploring the different angles and deep diving. I feel like painting's starting to get longer and longer cycles of.
That's hell reflective of comedy. When you first do stand-up, you've got like one joke on that topic.
Yeah.
And you got another good joke on something else.
Yeah.
Then the better you get, you look for the rule of threes or like a few more
Yeah.
than callbacks.
Yeah.
That's,
Do you think you'll get bored of it?
No, I think because when I do get bored of it, I just do stand up, and when I get bored of stand up, I just paint, and they seem to be like different enough because like painting, you're the audience. You stand up, you know the audience. Really, the audience is there, and they give that feedback. But with the painting, you're giving the feedback to yourself. So like I make a mark, and then I now judge the mark, and then I do another mark based on my feeling about that first mark, and so you kind of get that dialogue you would with an audience, but with a canvas.
Have you ever just like spilt and made a mistake and then it's gone, that's perfect?
Yeah, I mean, like most of art is a mistake.
Yeah, because sometimes
my dad nicknamed me Art.
I used to paint when I was towards the end of high school, and I used to do it properly with my grandfather.
Oh, nice.
Was that was his profession, just painting.
Yeah, he did the painting that's at yours. The light.
He did. He did that one. Yeah, he did scenes. So his was his was different to what I liked, but he showed me how to paint and like how he would create certain shading and stuff like that. That was the techniques he showed me, and I was very I did lots of space.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I stopped, but I can't remember where I was going with this. What were you saying just before that? Sorry.
Mistakes.
Oh yeah. Sorry. And I was painting, and I remember my greatest, or what I felt was my best painting. I spilled the paint on this bit of paper, and it created this like sort of spill around something I'd already began, and then I just left it, and it was the one that I kept. It was just a spill.
Yeah.
It was like it was actually depressing a little bit that I spilt it, and it was better than what I was doing with purpose.
No, but this is like, I think this is exactly like the big message with all of this is just like, you're like you are an accident, like you're a walking accident. And then like, it's funny. It's comedically hilarious that we try and do anything with any kind of like, I'm a responsible and this is going to be amazing. And then you make a mistake and it looks better than, and then I'm like, well, why can't you just be the purveyor of mistakes? Like stand-up is the purveyor of mistakes. You are the mistake king. You know what I mean? You're like, look at all the mistakes I've done, and then you do them well. You do mistakes well.
Yeah.
And I think like us the same. It's like you try and do things a certain way. It's like sometimes if I'm getting bored because I'm like, this painting looks good, I'm like, well, I should try and ruin it and then paint my way out of it. It's like sabotage yourself and then try and get out of it. Sabotage, you know, it's like keep trying to Houdini yourself. Yeah. So I like that. Like I always think like when I'm going, I'm like, where do I want to go? And then I'm like, I want to go left with the paintbrush. And then I'm like, do I want to go left because I usually go left? In that case, let's go right. Do you know what I mean? I want this to be smooth, but that's because if it's because I'm trying to like do the same thing I did before, just out of habit, then I don't think I'm being creative anymore. I think I'm actually just building up this kind of same pattern in my head. So I try and just keep myself guessing and throwing myself into new situations. And that's what I don't think painting it to me is like, it's not painting, it's just exercising creativity because you're not allowing yourself to do the same thing over and over again. For an exhibition, they kind of want that to have the similar styles. And I can do that. I've just chosen not to at this point. And with this exhibition, I'm going to do about 6 or 8 in the different styles so that I can be, but like ultimately, I like to keep it fun and as an exercise and just like keeping you throwing spanners at yourself.
We should do that for here.
What?
A painting each with Sam.
Yeah, we should do that. We should have a
when,
painting session.
when do you go? And we'll film it and we'll turn it. When do you leave?
I leave on like the 22nd or 1st.
Are you back?
I'm back on the 26th.
Okay. So
We'll do it next
You'll
time.
be back in Perth.
We'll be next. Yeah, I'll be back in Feb. Yeah,
That'd be
Let's
sick.
do that.
yeah, let's do that.
Well, are you doing the art show for Fringe as well?
I might be.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Do you reveal who you're going to paint, the comedians that you're going to paint, or do you want to save that for the lounge?
At the moment, I'm doing Wolfie and Dave Callan
Sweet.
and Kyle Legacy.
Nice. So all past
Really
guests.
great.
So if anyone wants to check it out,
Fucking sick.
and you're going to show them at the lounge.
The painting of Kyle Legacy, I'm very proud of.
Is it just a piece of shit?
It's called A Man Trapped in a Painting That He Doesn't Understand.
I don't know what side of cultural appropriation he lands on. Is it? There's just so many levels.
Someone's like, he's so wrong, he's right.
Yeah.
It's exactly right.
The mistake king.
He gave me shit last night, saying I was the whitest person going around.
Yeah. As he
No,
wants to fuck LeBron.
Second
and
whitest.
be LeBron.
Yeah.
He said you're the whitest person he knows. It's almost a compliment.
What the fuck are you doing?
Fucking
Send us a voicemail. The fuck.
Really quickly on painting, I had a friend that never painted in his life, but his mother was a professional painter, and sadly, she passed away due to cancer. And in that day, he felt her ability to paint transfer into him, and then ever since then, he's painted hyper realistic paintings and went from never painting to selling them for thousands. I've got his I've got his Instagram. Take a look at that. It's crazy. Literally, I knew him. He never painted. He never painted.
That's
and
wild.
He swears, and he's not religious. I used to talk to him about religion all the time, smoking billies all the time, man. And he's not religious at all. But when his mom died, that's what he said. And then he's been a very accomplished painter since then.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Just quickly, did you guys hear that?
What? Oh.
Classic.
Cool, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, do you want to plug something? You got the show coming up.
Tuesday, Comedy Lounge, Tuesday the 19th? what
Yeah,
day?
Tuesday the 19th. It's
Yeah.
like an exhibition from midday till 6. So there's going to be like 25 paintings. And then from 6 o'clock, doors open, 7 o'clock comedy show.
Yeah.
And the comics that I'm going to be painting are going to be performing. And then at about 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a talk about all the art, just go through it. And then, it's like you get a drink on entry, champagne. We're going to do it like real nice. Like John from who runs the Comedy Lounge has been like so incredibly helpful with this whole thing. Like it was his idea to do the show. And like he brought me over here to do the exhibition and do stand up. So it was nice. I
don't even know John liked art.
Yeah, well apparently he does. He likes abstract stuff and he liked my stuff. So I was stoked to have it. So hopefully it goes well because it would be great to like if we could raise a bit of money and actually it'd be funny
Fly me to Edinburgh next
use
year.
art to pay for comedy to leave Perth.
Make a bigger mistake.
And then and there's other shows like comedy shows or just the art.
I'm doing Friday and Saturday.
At Lounge.
They've got
At
two
Lounge,
shows a night.
How do people get tickets for Tuesday?
They just go to the Comedy Lounge website. Just look for the photo of me with a beret. And
What's it called?
through.
Just Sam Kissajukian.
It's got 300 paintings in lockdown.
We'll
sick.
put the link within the show notes of the show.
Yeah,
and,
thanks.
And on our Facebook posts.
Sick. Good chat. Good depth.
I liked it. Delby, you got anything quickly? Because you got a flight tonight.
I'm just going over to Bali, but when I get back, the last Who's Rhyme show is on the 31st of July. Hard Yarns we've got a show on the 29th.
29th.
So we'll have some stand-up at West Perth. So if you're a Patreon, we've already put up the free tickets for the top level guys and the medium tickets for the medium guys get half price. So jump on Patreon. Otherwise, the link will be live probably this week because we've done our own selling. We need to get the link up publicly.
Yeah, we'll get that going. So,
but yeah, come see Who's Wrong before I leave. July 31st at Elford. It's fucking dope. Sickest setup ever.
Sick.
Branchy's covering my quizzes and so is Mac Shane.
Yeah, I'm covering the next 2 Wednesdays at Paddy Malone's. That'll be fun. A lot more fun than last week with the office.
Fuck, don't get me started.
Jesus Christ, that was second half was awesome once they sorted out everything else. But yeah, that was
it was a mistake, but it was beautiful.
Beautiful mistake. No, that was good. So I'm just doing that. Aside from that, I reckon we'll do an episode, at least one episode.
I'll
while
call
you're
in
away.
from Bali. Yeah.
And I think we'll get Cam McLaren over or something like that.
We might do some Buddha Zen stories.
Yeah, and we'll see how we go for the second week. It might be good to have a break and just like detox and then come back fresh. We'll see how it goes.
How we feel.
See how we feel. But definitely next week we'll do a call in from Bali.
Cool.
That's it.
Ciao. Peace.
Hey, bro.
Nice.